Crooked justice, a secret they keep, but I see through her lies, I see the truth. Gonna make her pay for what she do. Fanny's got a reputation to uphold, but her tactics are shady. Story untold, she thinks she's clever, but I'm on to her game. I'll expose her ways and put her to shame.
Yo, folks, and welcome to Friday. It is Friday panel show. Currently, I'm waiting for the panel. And I have Kat said she will be here. She said yesterday she will be here. She said the day before she will be here. I assume she will be here. And Sadinesh said he will be here. Thuggerdaily, I just DM'd him, and he will be here for a limited amount of time. And of course, Sean, potentially criminal, will be here. And I have an okay from Kayla Bumpus. So they should be here any minute. I did say 6 p.m. Eastern time, I think. Yeah, this week has been, it's been a demolition derby over the prosecution's case this week through the amazing cross-examination by Brian Steele, Mr. Brown, Mr. Weinstein, and Max Short. It's been a masterclass, in my personal opinion. I know there are a handful that don't agree, that think, oh, it went on too long. But we have to remember, these guys aren't there for us. They are there for the jury, to convince the jury to let them guys go free. Do I look American? Yeah, I heard that a lot. As long as I don't open my mouth, I'm basically American. I have the size for it, and apparently the looks for it. So it's the accent. It's the accent. Hey, here we go directly. Steph JK became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Viking crew. And yeah, now you have access to members-only content, members-only emojis, and you have access to my Discord. That Discord is for you guys, the members. I log in there once or twice a week and answer questions and stuff like that. But yeah, welcome to the show. And T42 have been a member for 5 months in the Viking crew. So thank you so much for being a consistent member. The memberships are what keeps this channel afloat. There are costs. No, this isn't a quartering. No, it's not the quartering. And Christine Fortunato, one of the OG viewers I had. Once upon a time, I had maybe 10 people in the chat viewing in December of 2022 when I started up this thing. And yeah, so she's been here all along. Thank you for being a member for 13 months. Yeah, iOS is like jumping through hoops. iOS, if you want to become a member, but you use iOS, You have to go out from the app and into what it's technical. I'm not a technical guy. Never was. Maybe back in the day. Okay, here's my age. My first computer was a VIC-20. It was a cassette tape. And that had the programs. So, yeah. Yay! Yeah, so welcome everybody. We are going to talk about this week in the Young Thug trial and some other stuff, whatever comes up on our minds. That is the beautiful thing about this panel show. Oh, Ireland is represented. Ireland, Jenny Jadwit from Ireland. What about the rest of you? C64 and then an 8086. I don't remember what my second computer was. I do remember in our equivalent of high school. It's a mosquito here. Come here, you bastard. Yes, I have this electronic tennis racket. So if you see me waving this around, it means I have spotted a mosquito. It is mosquito season in Sweden, and I'm on a farm. So flies and mosquitoes. Hey, look at that. Roderick from Atlanta. Local. Colorado. Iowa. Diogo Sampaio from Romania. Hi, Nick. Hi, everyone. New Zealand. Wow. The 90s case, the Swedish tourist, I remember it from back in the day. Yeah. Jeez. Oklahoma, South Carolina, Australia, Italy, Texas, hey, Warsaw, Ohio, Georgia. No worries about caps. Just don't all caps and stuff. Oh, New York State, Pittsburgh, Toronto, Crawfordville, Florida, Oregon. It's from all over the place. UK, factual lie. Okay. Is Sweden a dry heat or humid heat? We're coastal. Sometimes we get the humid heat, but most of the time it's quite dry heat. Well, heat. Our heat waves are in the high 70s, low 80s. That is our heat waves here. Remember, we are not that far away from the Arctic Circle. I'm glad we see the sun. California, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Michigan, New Jersey, Sylvia. Hi, Sylvia from Houston, Texas, California. Abidjan, West Africa. Ooh, representing. Okay, that makes it 4 continents. We have Australia, we have Europe, we have Africa, we have the North Americas. 4 continents. Ooh, worldwide. And talk about worldwide. Almost. Let's give him a minute. California, Wisconsin, South Carolina, Michigan, Ohio, we're 4 continents, and I've counted to at least 25 states so far. So yeah. Yes, New Zealand is on a separate continent from Australia. I know. There's a mosquito here. Come here, you little. Got you. Hi. Okay, yeah. Time to bring up some of the panel members. You've seen him here before. And with large cheers and a few boos, here is Sean, potentially criminal.
Hey,
Hey,
Nicholas, how you doing? Thought I'd give you a little Swedish flavor today. Love the hat. I love the hat.
thank you. Yeah, I got my buckies on. I
So-
do have my Miller's hat right over there. So I do have.
So you
my
know what you
Miller's.
need to do now? Talk to Bucky's about franchising in Sweden and do a Waffle House.
Yeah, we need Waffle House in Sweden. Waffle House breakfast. Waffle House. Yeah.
How would you? Hold on here. What would that be in?
Now we also have
Waffle House.
What's going on? How you guys doing? How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. I'm still on a bit of a high from this week's trial. I mean, the cross-examinations is, yeah. Okay, John is going on. Nick, Sean, what is nut use?
Oh, wow.
I did not get to watch a lot of Woody yet. I'm gonna have to watch it this weekend. But I've been told it's been hilarious.
Yeah, Woody was in one of the cross examinations. He was asked to tell them how is the Rice Street, the jail, and it's the worst place in the world. And he was asked to describe it, and with a little help, still water in the showers. And his answer was, we call it nut use. And yeah, and we and said he gone. He will be back. He will be back. So I'm a big fan of Suno.com, the AI music thingy, and this was what it came up.
Drop water cold as the night clock. Slipping on the tile, ain't a friendly spot. Steamy like the sun up, but the vibe ain't hot. Speakers sitting high, say a prayer on the dot. Voices echo out like a haunted house. Shivers down the spine, can't escape the mouse. Eyes shifting fast like a powder warehouse. Back against the wall, that's the jailhouse joust. Nut juice dripping, man, it's slipping on the ground. Ain't no innocence here, everybody's down. Bars might close in, but we're still battling the sound. Showers turn to prisons in the lost and the found.
Yeah.
Wow, you're better than the prosecution.
Yeah, and there's also a country song, but I will save that for later. Suno.com, if I'm good at this. So where did I find that, Mrs. W? I asked an AI songwriter to make it for me. So that is what I did. It's called Suno.com, Suno.com. And for you, if you are at Suno.com, I wouldn't mind. I would not mind some cash coming my way. Okay, but Amateur Iron Class gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Sorry, folks. Becca Lynn, Nico, Stephanie Bland, Bankhead Huyogd, and Mr. W, you got a membership. Hey! Let's talk about the cross-examination. Now, well, first we need to say hello to the absolutely beautiful. Hi, Kayla.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Yeah. You just missed.
What happened?
You know how Woody described still water in showers in Rice Street, as they call it, nut juice. I accidentally made a song, and so I might not have missed much. And
I'll be replay gang just so I can hear it.
Yeah, it might show up later as well. I have a country version. This AI songwriter stuff is dangerous because I get ideas, and Now, so damn, what is this? The prosecution, when they handed Woody over, that was, in my opinion, they've been trying to get him there for at least a couple of days, to the point where he's absolutely okay. I really don't want to be here. And so I thought I would play how we got there. Hold on while I try to.
Dead space. Hi, Kayla.
You have to start in 2015 for that, Nick.
Yeah, but when they handed him over to the defense for cross-examination, I mean, they've been on his back for years, and the way he described it, and then we found out about his current temporary dismissed charges. I don't think Fani Willis told anybody about those.
I want to tell what I think happened. I'm gonna look it up to see what I think happened. Don't quote me on this. And I'm gonna look at it. No, because I'm gonna look it up.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. But I think it's highly possible that there may have been a preliminary hearing of some sort where they declined to prosecute at that stage, which doesn't mean they won't indict. Or maybe the officer didn't show up, because I have a lot of cases where there's a decline to prosecute at the prelim and they go downstairs and indict it, or they indict it later. I honestly think that happens almost every day, where the officer doesn't show up or something happens in the preliminary stage where they just decline to prosecute at that point.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, Nick, it sounds like that's very similar to where I'm at, the way we do things. Yeah. Unless you're out in the middle of nowhere where the cop, like they make sure the cop shows up. Yeah. Bigger areas, things get tossed, and then you find out 2 weeks later they still indicted your guy. So
but I could be
it's
wrong.
Not really a win.
But that's what it sounds like. The decline of prosecute. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's not how we interpret it; it's how the jury interprets it.
Right.
And I'm quite sure they interpret it. Oh, you interesting people! You had this hanging over him. So yeah. Hi, Kat.
Hello. Sorry, I'm late.
Hi,
No,
Kat.
I like you with glasses.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's glasses.
Kat, how you doing?
Thanks.
Good, how are you?
Hi to me. What's up?
You didn't say hi to me? Nah, what's up now? How you doing?
Yeah, so
because every time I say something to you, they gonna run with it. But how are you doing, Kat? You look nice.
Thank you.
Now, we have this moment when the prosecution handed Woody over. I think I got the timestamp correct.
Okay. Mr. Copeland, isn't it true that you're supposed to be testifying under an immunity agreement?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't have a clue about none of this stuff. I told y'all from the start, y'all to put me in here. Like, I don't comprehend. I done told y'all that time after time. I don't know what the immunity agreement is. I don't have a clue. Like, I'm up under so much pressure. Like, man, I don't know. I don't even know how to answer y'all question because I don't know what type. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to be as truthful as possible, and y'all keep going back into the past. Like, I told y'all when I was talking to y'all in the back, man, I have lied, and y'all don't put me up on here telling me that I got to be truthful when I'm telling y'all. Man, I don't know. Man, I'm afraid for my life. Every time y'all call me here, I think y'all have to take my life, take my freedom. And at this point, I can't call on nobody for help. I don't know what's going on.
Were you told before you testified that anything you testified to in the courtroom could not be used against you?
Can you say that again?
Before you took the stand, were you told that anything that you testified to in court could not be used against you?
First of all, this is a lie. He was specifically told in that ex parte meeting that he couldn't be prosecuted, which is a completely different thing. And yeah, so this made me react quite, which is in a separate video. And so this is them mixing it up, because he also asked the judge about this. How about federal charges and stuff like that? And then vague answers, and now they're going into, well, you cannot be, anything you say can't be used against you after everything of this. And that's not what they told him in the ex parte. They told him he couldn't be prosecuted.
Can he be prosecuted now for the lying about the pepper spray, now that it's now testimony?
I
think that's interesting.
Well, I was gonna say, I think they've induced a lot of problems here based on the assurances they made to him. Basically, they gave him carte blanche, I would argue, in that here in the ex parte meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And for them, that you can't walk that back. Once you say, you're kind of stuck with it, absent him lying, and you have to prove he's lying to blow up an agreement. So I think they're kind of hurting there.
You know what's funny is the judge told them basically don't bring up the ex parte meeting, and she just opened it all up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they were allowed to ask about what Miss Hilton said, but not the entirety of the ex parte. And I kind of agree. They opened up for it. And they didn't have Judge Glanville to shut that door again, which he did on a couple of occasions when he was still a judge here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was interesting.
We call that self-destruction.
Before you took the stand, were you told by myself, Ms. Love, anyone sitting at this table, that anything you testified to could not be used against you?
Anything I testified to can't be used against me?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
And matter of fact, last week, didn't you ask the judge? You turned around and you asked her, nothing I said could be used against me, right? And
okay.
Okay.
And
isn't it true that under this immunity agreement, you were told that you could be charged with perjury?
You say I could be charged with who?
Perjury.
I don't even know what perjury is.
Okay. Were you told also in this immunity agreement that you could be charged if you committed false swearing?
I was told, I asked specifically so I can understand. I asked you, I said, what happened with y'all locked me up? Y'all told me two things I go to jail for. If I plead the fifth, and if I say that I had committed a crime that I didn't do.
Okay.
So I don't know what perjury means. I don't know. I mean, I'm afraid for my life. And I told y'all that. I told it to my lawyer. I tell it to the judge. I tell it to everybody. Y'all got me up here. I don't know what's going on. And like I said, for the crimes that y'all charged me with, I went to jail. I did all my time for it. Y'all still bring me in here. I feel like I'm on trial at this point. I'm going to jail because I don't know. Y'all got me up here asking me questions. I don't know how to answer these questions. Y'all want me to be a witness to something I don't know nothing about.
Isn't true that even with the immunity agreement, you did not want to testify?
Can you explain it?
Sure. Even when you were given immunity, you did not want to testify.
I still don't want to testify.
And isn't it true that you feel that you were pressured by the state to testify?
I feel like I was pressured by both sides, the state and the defense.
Okay. And isn't it true that you told me in front of these jurors a couple of weeks ago you felt pressured to testify?
And I still, right now, I feel pressured to testify because it's not like I'm up here to be. It's not. I can't sit here and tell y'all. I can't sit here and tell y'all nothing. I don't know what y'all want me. I don't know what y'all looking for. I didn't see nobody kill nobody. I didn't see nobody rob nobody. I didn't see none of these boys do anything. I did some stupid things. I got caught for the stupid things that I was doing, and I just went from there. Like I didn't. And then y'all got me up here, and I told y'all before y'all put me up here, y'all can't talk to me on like a Tuesday or something, and you can't talk to me in the streets. And I told you like I lied, and I told you that, and then y'all still brought me in here.
Isn't it true that you did not want to testify because you don't want to deal with the reality of being labeled a snitch?
Miss Hilton, I was being labeled a snitch way before I had to come to trial when y'all linked that video out to the social media. So the world look at me as a snitch no matter what goes on.
That was a highlight. That the state leaked the interrogation videos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what was it in around 2022? Just around when they indicted, when everything was in the news, all of a sudden his police interviews went out.
Yeah. Red Bunny asked a question. No, Kayla and they all explained the immunity to him. Basically, he could lie and do whatever he wanted up there as long as he didn't lie about committing crimes.
No, not Kayla. That was Hilton.
Yeah. Well, no, I know that, but she's saying Melnick, everybody, nobody, like, that was explained to him fully.
Yeah.
They're just now the prosecutors in a hole because now they have to realize, oh God, we said you could do whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to walk it back and they can't.
No.
I mean, it's hard to explain something to someone when you say one thing and the state says another thing and the judge says another thing. So it's like, I mean, I would be confused at what my immunity actually covered as well.
No, I agree with you, Kayla, because he's not an attorney. He's not an attorney. So on top of that, he's got to figure that all out. And you know, when it comes down to like what do people understand or how they understand it, you always look at like how old are they? How far do they get in school? Like all the how well they can understand what's being said here. And I think I'm not even sure what his immunity is really at this point. I would argue the state accidentally gave him blanket immunity. And they screwed that up. Now,
Sharp
I would
got that on the record too. Sharp made that argument on the record.
Oh, I didn't hear that. So, like I said,
it was during the motions hearing. It wasn't during his cross examination.
Oh, he did. Was that this week?
Yeah, he said carte blanche. His words exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean if I was sitting there reading that, I would interpret that as complete immunity. Like you could go admit you just like shot up a school. Complete immunity.
Well, he did admit that he shot up a barbershop.
Yeah, he's already admitted to that. Yeah,
and that cannot be. But the wording that I'm stuck on is in the ex parte meeting where they specifically said you cannot be prosecuted, not even on a federal level, which is Speaking of federal, Thuggerdaily.
Yo.
Hey,
oh my gosh.
How are you? The one, the only Thuggerdaily is here, folks.
Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just want to say a big thank you for providing more or less the entire panel with the material for their streams.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're the man.
I'm glad they don't think we're the same person.
Fangirl.
City's like, yeah, we're not the same person.
No, I said I'm glad they don't think we're the same person anymore.
Yeah, that was one. I was getting accusations.
Oh, people thought Thuggerdaily and Sadie Nash was the same person?
At least a couple times.
Oh! Well, since I had more or less simultaneous DMs with you, I kind of knew that, but I didn't know that people thought you were the same person. Okay. Thuggerdaily, I know you don't have much time here, but generally, how do you find all this material?
Are you like the documents?
Yeah.
I mean, early on, I would just like my first few, like probably 3 weeks of tweeting, I actually like would just post the first page only on Twitter. I was not buying like 60-page documents. I was not doing that off of the docs. But since then, I've met people like as my coverage grew, as my page grew, people have been willing to help me out. I have like a contact at the court. Sometimes the lawyers will help me out, you know. So and then I just ever since I've been getting the full documents, I just upload them for everyone.
Yeah,
and you can always ask me because I'm on service contacts too.
I appreciate that. Oh yeah, I did get added to the service contacts recently, probably like 2 months ago, my email. But the new judge, ever since her stuff doesn't go to my email anymore. It's weird.
Were you only added for one, like service for one attorney, one party?
I think I was added as a non-party.
Okay, so maybe because now I've noticed that they're coming through attached to like less is getting filed under everybody's name. So maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, we are all very, very grateful for providing us with this material that we can go through and try to interpret for our viewers in the different ways. I mean, Kayla, relatively local, even though I know she doesn't live in Georgia. I just realized, Kayla, you're more on this panel. You're the only one that is somewhat local to Georgia. Or, I mean, we all live somewhere else than Georgia.
I live somewhere else too.
Yeah, but you practice sometimes in Georgia. So
I go to Georgia every week.
Oh, every week. Oh, I saw something also that is interesting. YSL Mondo has been doing a lot of noise lately.
Man,
Can I get
hate that.
anybody's opinion?
I
I
hate
don't
that
love
so
it.
much.
No comment.
No comment? Okay, yeah.
Just let me know when you're ready for me.
Yeah, this might be a steady moment.
I think the worst part is just he's on that defense witness list.
Yeah.
And like we've already seen how they've used some of Woody's interviews in the cross-examination against the state. So I bet the state's gonna. I mean, he's just straight up saying things that could definitely touch the case.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why he is not one of the co-defendants here, and it's because Father Willis was his defense attorney. And it is my theory that most of the state's case comes from privileged information she got from Mondo. And that is why he's not indicted. And,
That's kind of like a theory people are saying. I don't think I haven't seen anything specifically that like is something that only Mondo would have known. Mondo stopped coming around those guys publicly, at least, pretty early on.
Yeah, I know. It's a theory or a hypothesis, at least.
Hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse. Hippopotamus. Yeah, but I still believe that at least, since he is a self-confessed co-founder of YSL, that should have disqualified Fannie Willis immediately. And I also think that is one of the reasons why she didn't take this case herself and handed it over to Ms. Love.
That confused me completely. I was so confused.
Yeah, because there's been a few RICO trials in Georgia the past decade where Fannie Willis has been directly or indirectly involved. And if she had the opportunity to run that case, she did. But this case that should have brought her to her political goals as the new next Attorney General for Georgia, she hands it over. And I do believe that is because of Mondo. What's going on in the back? Hey, there she is.
Hey,
there she is. Hey. I've been sending you invites all the time, and I've been waiting for replies. Hello.
I had to come home. I just got home.
Oh.
Tell him CPT. You know what it is.
CPT.
Cat on CPT as well.
Okay.
Okay. What a panel. What a panel. Isn't that, folks in the chat, this is a great panel, isn't it? There's Miss, yeah. For you who don't know, Shenanigram Yellrock is my internet rowdy big sister. She has a channel of her own, if you can handle her. Okay. We were playing the handover from the prosecution to the defense, how they riled Woody up.
On to this day, but me coming here, like, I have put my faith in God's hands, and I come here and I let it be known. I guess got no choice but to be letting know to y'all now that I have told y'all time after time that I done lied.
And a snitch is someone who actually tells the truth, correct?
Listen, Miss like, I mean, like, I feel like I got the world on my back now. You ask me these questions, like, I don't know, man. Like y'all draining me. I mean, like for real. It's a different if I sat here and seen somebody commit a crime, and then I saw them with my own eyes do this, and then I get in here and say I didn't see them do that. Y'all want me to sit here and say, oh, the stories that I have put on other people's, and I didn't. Like I would not do that. Like and Lord knows I want to be with my family and my kids. But if y'all gonna put me back in jail because I won't sit right here and tell y'all what y'all believe to be whatever y'all want me to say. Like I mean I don't want to go to jail, but man, at this point I don't. Man, y'all got me, man. I don't know, man. I can't sleep at night. Like I tell you, y'all hold me in jail. Don't feed me. Don't give me water. Like I just don't know. Like every time I walk in this door, I pray and hope I walk back out this door. I just want to be left alone. I paid for my punishment, and I done told y'all before y'all put me right here in this seat, time after time. I told Judge Glanville in his office. I done told everybody. I can tell, and I'm telling you to your face. I know you don't have anything to do with you. You doing your job, but I've been nice to you, and I've been telling you that you can't put me up here. And I told you I done made it up. Okay. It's a difference if I seen one of these guys actually do something and you ask me, did they do it? If you ask me, did they do something that I actually saw them do it? And I would tell you, yeah, I saw him do that. Yeah, I was with him when he did that. But this is not the case.
And you just told police what Demekion told you, correct?
I told the police anything to get them off of me. I was going through a phase. People were shooting at me while I had my kid. And my only priority was by any means necessary to protect them with my whole fucking life. Just I get a minute because they drive me crazy.
Yeah, take a minute, take a breath.
Keep telling y'all.
Stay here. Come here. Stay on the stand. Take some breaths. Calm down.
And once he finishes his breath, Your Honor, say, we conclude our questioning, Your Honor.
Well,
yeah, that was the moment the prosecution waited for, and then hand him over as riled up as humanly possible. And then hope that destroyed the defense cross-examination. And it took a while for Mr. Steele to get him back. Luckily, it was close to the end of the day. Yeah, he was out of there. He was not having it. And I think.
Don't know. I'll say, I think that was still dangerous for the state to do because all it made me think in that moment is it looks like he's the type to snap and shoot somebody.
Maybe.
Like so enraged that he just got beat up at Club Crucial that he's just raging until he gets his recourse. Like, I don't know why they we'll give a riled up witness over to the defense, but you would think that they would expect Steele was going first and that they know Steele knows how to approach things like that. I think they didn't weigh the risk versus reward very well.
I think you think too highly of the prosecution. They wanted to because Woody has been 75% ruining their case throughout their direct examination. And desperation kicked in. They wanted Woody as riled up as humanly possible. But then again, at the other end, there's Brian Steele, who is paid the big bucks for a reason, who's been winning lots of appeals, who has been speaking for the Georgia Supreme Court and the Supreme Court. He's not new at this. So, yeah, I think it was almost pure desperation. But you, Kayla, any opinions on the states?
On the state, I just feel like, it's really hard for me to comment on this because I know everybody in real life. Like every single person in real life. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Sylvia, what do you think of the prosecution's tactics here?
As far as getting him roused up and then leaving it for the defense?
Yeah. Could you see any advantage for the prosecution to leave him all riled up?
No, I didn't see an advantage of that at all. In fact, that kind of hurt them because it gave the emotion to to the jurors, and some of them were reacting to him feeling that way. And anytime you see a male cry, almost crying at that point, there's so much energy that's being put behind it. So if this man is about to cry because you got him to that point, that's not good. That doesn't look good for the state. And that's the way I saw it.
Teddy, any?
Yeah, so that could have went two ways, right? You've seen in movies where the person gets so mad that they catch them lying and then boom, drop it. It's what is that old show? I just used that. Perry Mason. There we go.
Yeah.
You have a Perry Mason moment. Get him so riled up that he say, "You know what? They all did it. I've been lying and blah blah blah." But it didn't go that way. The problem with it is when it comes down to emotion. No disrespect to these ladies, but they lack it. When Miss Hilton is talking, sometimes she'll say, "Okay," like it's cool, but then just say something that's completely snarky as hell. The lead attorney agree with me. Shout out. So it comes off as, if you're going to do it that way, be more concise, because her point should have been like boom, 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 boom. But then on top of that, it seems like she's doing a little snarky back and forth, which makes it look like you don't have control of your witness. And then you got him treated as a hostile witness, which to me, just looking back, says, yeah, you lost this one. Now you're trying to figure out how to get the hell out of here. Because when he started doing that crying stuff, she didn't show no compassion. She didn't say, "I understand." She didn't say, "Yeah, you should take a minute."
Exactly.
She said, "Your Honor, we have another question, then we'll end it after that." And I'm like, no, dummy, you're doing it wrong. Like, you don't sit up there, the kid is crying, and you sit up there and tell him, "Get the hell up." You're not dad. You're supposed to be mom in this situation. And she completely butchered that one.
Can I say something?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, I feel exactly how Seti feels, and I'm not like no shade when I say this. You guys know I try to be neutral, but in watching those last couple of questions and those last moments of questioning, it made me reevaluate how I present myself as an attorney. And there's a lot of times when people are speaking and they say something, and I say, okay, just like that, and I know that is something that I do. But watching it makes me realize I never want to do that again, ever, because it looks terrible.
Yes. Yeah, it's Kayla, I've said this before, it's sales what we're doing. Especially on the defense side. We're trying to sell that story. The prosecutors have it easy. But yes, here they just looked like careless people, just cold and callous, and they got Woody, this gangster, to start crying. This guy they're bullying and badgering. And like you said, Seti, that looks bad. The jury sees that. And they see her getting snippy. And I've messed up as an attorney before. I've gotten into those fights with a witness before. You start getting snippy and you get roped into the fight of, I'm gonna burn this guy down. And then you're done and you're like, I got him. And then you kind of turn and look and the jury's looking at you like you're an asshole. And it's like, oof.
Told you.
Yeah.
So I've been there before.
Yeah.
And that's what I saw.
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
Now it's one thing, for instance, in my area of law, I never go to trial. I hand over things to trial attorneys if it comes to that. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Nick. But you see how afterward, how Steele came into play, how he was very kind and supportive,
Soothing.
and try to soothe him and try to, and his reaction was totally different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
can I ask this question too?
Sure.
We just restarted from dang near 2 months off. This is essentially their first witness and most memorable. I wonder how they gonna treat that. How would you feel?
Oh, that's actually correct. More or less everything from the first 6 months, and now they are restarting from. This is more or less the prosecution's day one again. I didn't think of that. That's a great observation. Yeah. They have been rested, everything. They are back. They are annoyed they are back. Oh, Eddie's gone. Here.
You hit the wrong button, probably.
TRT, I see your super chat. That's an excellent. When we get there, I will bring it up. That's an excellent observation, and hope to bring it up. I will bring it up when we get there.
Before you hit the play button, that one moment where Hilton said, okay, while she was leaning over Atkins, I didn't really even take that as, I mean, I don't think she was sympathetic or coming off as compassionate at all, period, across all of that questioning. But when she said that, to me, it just seemed like the demeanor of someone that knew they just messed something up. That they knew that their witness just was not answering the way they wanted to. That's the way I took it, was even if I didn't hear what Woody just said, the way Hilton's carrying herself, it looks like it's bad for her argument. It doesn't help her argument.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that now. I am somewhat of the opposite opinion, that the goal was to rile him up. Hold on while I take away this. I don't. Yeah. She might have realized she screwed up. She might have, and but then again, why didn't she try to solve it? Because she had quite a few questions left to ask. Sean, you're a defense attorney, and so is Kayla. How, if in such, would you even try to get the witness back to normal?
I mean, if I ended up pissing them off and getting to the point where I made Woody cry, if I was at his, if that was position was me, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you were the prosecutor in this case.
Oh, I mean, no, because I think you have to realize you've messed up. You've caused too much damage here. There's, I mean, if he was combative before, he's really going to be combative now, and you have to cut your losses. You have to cut your losses.
I feel like as a prosecutor, number one, I would have never tried this case from the beginning.
Well, yeah, that too. That too.
But
that's the baseline.
At this point, this is what I would have done. Once I saw what happened at the recusal point during the break, I would have been giving everybody time served, please. I would have been coming up with plea agreements like, let's bow out gracefully. We're going to get our conviction. Hey, they got their felony. This defense, they're going to get their people out, and we just come to the middle and end this.
Yeah, everybody looks like a rock star.
Everybody looks like a rock star if they do that. Every single person. And I say this like, they have like, you know how this point, this is how much dignity they have left. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's none left. So just keep that.
Yeah. I'm surprised that, I mean, this, the judge has, I think this was the third time she hinted to the prosecution, time to hand out good plea deals. None of that 10 years probation, 5 years.
And also, I'm sorry to cut you off. I was on the YFN case, and I say that all the time. Because it's just really crazy to me that on that case, even though it lasted we never went to trial, of course, but the case lasted for about 2.5 years. Majority of the people on that case have time served pleas, probation offers after 2 years, and it's over with. It's the exact same RICO gang murder. So what's the difference? We know the difference.
Yeah. Difference is Fannie Willis had her big, she wanted this win before the next RICO, and she kind of needs it, but I do believe that her political aspirations are gone.
Personal
political aspirations, next Attorney General of Georgia, I think that ship has sailed completely, because I don't know how she can explain away sleeping with a married man and lying about it in church. And Yeah. Yeah, I know they were separated. I don't care. He was still married. So
I have a question for Sean, I think would be the person to direct this to. So there was a part where, this is Adrienne Love, Chief Deputy District Attorney Adrienne Love. She, during some questioning about affidavits that were supposed to be produced to, I think it was for either wiretaps for someone, or it was cell location data for DeMarco Boyer. Something like that. She's like, well, they kept asking for the affidavits. She's like, well, we don't have them. And then she said she went down herself to APD. Yeah, so that's one problem. Then she said she went down to APD to find some of the related reports, and she was going through the boxes herself. Doesn't that put her in qualified immunity territory outside of absolute immunity territory? If she's down at the police station,
No,
tearing
because she's
through
acting as a
boxes,
prosecutor. She's still a
doing it to find
prosecutor.
those affidavits.
Yeah, she's still being a prosecutor. She still has prosecutorial immunity. And remember here, even if she had qualified immunity goes, sorry,
Still a high
oops,
barrier.
I'm an idiot. So, and the court say, yep, you're an idiot. You're not liable. So qualified immunity would still protect her there. But she still has the prosecutorial immunity as she's doing her job. But did they have a wire on these guys? Did they have a wire?
On their body, on their
No, I
their
meant a
phones.
wiretap. Did they have a wiretap?
On one of the severed co-defendants.
They got a
at
Title
least,
III?
right?
Wow.
And I've represented him multiple times. Like, people don't understand how connected I have been to this case. They think just because I showed up on day one, I have represented 6 of the 28 people. I see that. Yeah, I have. And
I didn't know you were that plugged into this.
well, nobody.
She's known for bonds. She gets like people up out of there.
Right. That's what Woody says. But at the end of that, I see a lot of people saying, why would they take pleas? And I want to say this. I believe, and I honestly know almost for a fact that I would take a plea if I knew I was going to get out tomorrow, whether it's an Alford plea. Which an Alford plea is North Carolina versus Alford, where you take a plea where it pretty much puts you in the same position as any other guilty plea, but you're not admitting guilt. You're just saying it's in your best interest to take this plea.
And you maintain your innocence.
Yeah. So I would tell, and then most of these guys, I mean, already have felony convictions. So I hate to say it, what is another felony going to do to them? Like seriously, like
this is I've had this discussion with clients before. They're like, I don't want a felony charge. And I'm like, dude, you have already 2 felonies. It's not like you're not going to get into the astronaut program now. Like, but as far as people saying, why would they take them? I'm like, go spend 2 years in jail. Like, everybody wants to talk a big game, but you put me in there for 20 days and I'm like, can I get a plea? Like,
especially if you know, and it's like people, and I hate to address the chat, but you have no idea what it's like to sit in a courtroom every day and not know when this is going to be over. Is it going to be? So if you came to me and told me I can get out in 6 months, sign me up, because and then especially if you're facing life, if you got 2 murders and you don't know what a jury is going to do, even though we would like to believe, I'll take give me a 10 serve 5. I done 3. Let me go home.
Yeah. and here's the thing: if he gets out, if they all got out tomorrow, talk's gonna start. They'll start making music again. It's like it's not like people are gonna say, "Oh man, he pled. I don't want to hear his stuff." He's gonna be like the hottest thing out there.
But he can't travel if he has a felony.
That's not the truth.
You can. It depends on the countries you go to.
Some countries you cannot come.
Yeah,
with
some won't, but
they will not let you in. Some countries,
some won't. But
a good plea doesn't have to be a felony, and there's also first
I'm
offender.
saying, no, you were saying that most of them have felony. Well, Jeffrey doesn't have a felony, but I was just saying.
Oh, he doesn't? Oh, okay.
No, he doesn't. But I said most of them, not all of them.
Well, and Sylvia, the neat thing is when you go to countries and you want to get into them, there's always a neat thing that helps. A little bit of cash, and you know, little waving that around gets you in a lot of places.
I mean, but if he takes
Sweden.
a first offender plea with no probation, then essentially he would still have no felony convictions. I don't know if he used first offender or not, or if he. I mean, there's so many. I'm just saying, best case scenario. That's what I would do as a prosecutor and as a defendant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I said this on Twitter the other day when I heard this about handing out plea deals. Time served, no obligation to testify. And everything would go away. This would end Tuesday.
Now,
Everybody.
would you cut that for the other guys who haven't? Like, 'cause I know there's other YSL guys that are still in the pipeline. Would you cut them all right now loose, or would any of them you want to try? Just out of curiosity. Like, do you think they'd all just get it and go?
Well, they were offered pleas. Those other ones, they rejected all their pleas.
Oh, okay.
It was terrible. Pleas.
It was about a month and a half ago,
Yeah.
something like that. They were offered plea deals, not that good plea deals that involved you have to testify, you can't say these guys are innocent. It was more or less, if I remember correctly, the same kind of plea deal that
10, 20 years and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like by the time they get to whatever next trial it is, the state cares about this first one. I feel like by that time they're going to lower down whatever offers they're giving.
Yeah.
I don't see them going through dragging all these witnesses back up all over again for the whole same.
They're not.
Happen. Yeah.
I highly doubt that, Thuggerdaily. That's how I feel. I feel like this is the crash dummy. Let's get who we want. See how we can. I mean, but I pause when I say that too, because there are some people on that case who they hate. I represented one of the individuals that severed, and they hate him.
Is it Demikion?
No, that's one they hate too. But I have represented him. But they also hate Tinquarius Mender, Nard.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It would just have to. All we can do is see, and I mean, it's just ridiculous. But guys, I gotta go because I have to go live myself. I'm so sorry, Nick.
No worries. Hey, go live. Go. Jesus Christ. I don't hold anybody here against the will, except Thuggerdaily, who have been trying to get on here for months.
Okay, see you guys later.
Bye, Kayla.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, Kayla.
You know, and Nick, I just want to say, I know some people in chat are saying, like, well, if I was innocent, I wouldn't take a plea.
Oh,
I mean, here's the argument I give to people. Okay, cool. You go to trial and you lose. Are you going to sit there every day in prison for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years? You know, you're going to thump your chest every day. I didn't take no plea. I did the right thing. I stood tall. I defended myself. Or are you going to sit there and look out the window after about 5 years and go, fuck, I wish I was outside right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you're not gonna be there when you're, 85 years old and be like, well, I fought the good fight. Like, nobody's gonna.
Yeah, I mean, and
it's a situation everybody needs to assess, and that's something if you want to do it, you got to do it. I mean, it's not easy. The system is broken. There are a lot of problems, but as I tell people, my job is to help navigate you through the hellscape that is our system. I wish it wasn't one, but it is what it is right now.
Now, if you are truly innocent and have the strength for it, then go right ahead. But we have recently a woman in Missouri, 47 years she sat in prison before she was released as an innocent person. I mean, would you give up your life for 47 years? Or would you take a plea deal giving you 5 to 10? I mean, and do that after a few months in Rice Street or Fulton County. I mean, most people who are innocent cannot comprehend what it is like to be in jail. We only see it in movies, most of us. And I mean, I do labor law. I rarely have anything to do with people who are in jail, but I have seen it. And I've represented a good bunch of people who came out of the prison system, tries to get to work, and then people find out they have a priors, and then they try to fire them, and then I come in and try to save their jobs. So I have talked to them. So, but I've never been in jail. I don't do criminal law. I've stepped foot in a few jails, but I can't comprehend, and this is Swedish jails. That's vacation compared to Rice Street and Fulton. Yeah. Travis James, I took a plea deal just to go to prison and get out of county jail. And that's, sadly, jail is being used on more than a few places to get people to take plea deals, even though cases might be weak. That's the sad truth. That I see the chats that they might not comprehend. But it's easy to say these things when you don't do crimes, when you know you're innocent, but you don't know you simply you aren't charged with anything either. And this was a bad subject.
Yeah. No, it's an important subject though, because this is part of the beast. Yeah. So it's not a pleasant subject. It's not one we can laugh at, like, oh, look at Woody burning down the prosecutor. But it's part of the. This is eating a nice bratwurst. It's good, but when you see what they have to do to make the bratwurst, you're like, oh wow, I didn't know about that part. I didn't know if I want to see that. That's how it goes. We have to.
And want to see how a sausage is done.
Yeah, nobody ever wants to see the cow get hit with the bolt gun.
Yeah, I have a form. I know how it's done, by the way. So yeah. It's not a
and I agree. Yeah. Well, and D, I mean, I know that too. That's the other. I mean, there's so many. This case highlights so many of the issues here, and I understand I'm a fat white guy in Ohio, but there are so many issues in the criminal justice system that we don't utilize bond more. I mean, like, there are things you see out there, like in Minnesota with cashless bail. In New York, they've done cashless bail. That there should be reductions on this. Like Illinois is doing the same thing. There should be more and more and more and more and more of this. And for YSL, all these guys, okay, they did crap. This murder happened in like 2015. We're now almost 10 years later. I mean, did they commit a murder in 2022 or 2023? No. Well, then they're not really a threat, I would argue, anymore. They should be out on the streets. Fine, monitor them. I guarantee you the money we would have from not running the jail, which the Fulton County Jail is now so bad, they had private guards come in to run it, and those private guards weren't getting paid, so they walked off the job.
Yeah.
Imagine if we took that jail, squeezed it down, and then used all that other money. Here, we'll put guys in electronic monitoring. We'll have people that are going out. Their job is to patrol and observe. Hey, are you where you need to be? All those things. There's so many ways to do it.
Yeah.
So, Drinks Murder was 2022, but I heard that one's really sketchy as far as tying that to YSL.
Yeah, this is the big one.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Sylvia and Kat and Thugger. I'm sorry.
No worries.
You guys can tell me to shut up.
Now, TRT is about to leave, so he wanted this addressed, and thank you for your support and your super chats. He says first, I think Shard messed up by asking question to implicate Woody in killing Donovan Thomas. He should have forced Woody to answer or not have asked a question, because the jurors aren't going to remember Woody's silence. I think that was quite effective when Woody started going silent.
I felt it. It was like tangible.
Did Woody hesitate to speak?
No,
he just stopped talking.
That's what I mean. He stopped.
Yeah. He got a few questions about other when he says, you got proof? And that, okay, I know what that means. And then
or I'm
silence.
Listening.
I'm listening, and then silence. I think that was quite effective. I really do. He continues with Shard won't be able to bring up Woody's silence in closing arguments. That's true.
No, he can. He can. It's Woody's not on trial.
Yeah, and he has immunity.
He's not a defendant.
All those questions he was. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
He is not on trial. So his silence can be used against him. His pleading the fifth can be used against him. If Woody's the defendant, it can't be used against him.
All
But
those questions
witness,
that Shart
yeah.
was asking that Woody just stayed silent to, I feel like would have been part of a closing argument regardless of what his answer was.
Yeah, but that's the neat thing about the Fifth Amendment. It only applies when you're on the state, like when you're on the when you're at the table. If you're just a witness, I could bring it up.
Can you get around that by saying demeanor without bringing up silence?
You mean
notice
if I'm
notice the difference in demeanor when he was asked questions about this versus that, or does that tread the line too much?
No, because you can bring. Oh, you mean if
he was the defendant?
If he was a defendant, oh no,
Can't do
because
demeanor.
you start. Well, here's the deal: if you start even sniffing around the issue of my client's testimony, I'm objecting. I'm objecting before you finish the statement.
You'll know it.
Oh well, no, I generally do that because, especially if my client hasn't testified and the prosecutor starts talking about the defense or the defense counsel or the defendant when they cross-examine, I immediately object because it doesn't matter what I say. It's your case to prove. And I cut people off right away. I don't even let them get the words out. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because you should still get convicted. But I'm protecting, I jealously guard the Fifth Amendment and the right to remain silent. It's like Gollum with the ring.
And then it says, lastly, Hilton now has the opportunity to ask Woody those questions, and I fear he will now deny the murder. If he does, Hilton will use in closing.
Yeah, but now she's got a problem though, because now he's being inconsistent. He's already admitted to doing it, so she can't. She's going to say, "Believe this liar now," or now. It's like,
but he has not said he actually killed Nutt. But his silence when Shard implicated him, or at least what Shard did was telling the jury the circumstances, and he had motive, clearly, because he was fighting with Nutt's brother. He shot up, was it Rich Homie Kwan's dad's barbershop? Allegedly, he shot up some other place while Donovan Thomas and some other people were in that place, the recording studio. And that was when the silence came in. So he had motive. Clearly, he had the means because he already admitted he had guns at the time. And then opportunity. Yeah, he drove around in that car. Does this mean he did it? No. I mean, even I could ruin the state's case against Woody. Because they already charged him once, let it go. They charged Shannon Stillwell twice and let it go. And now this RICO. So, yeah, because of crooked cops, in my opinion, bad investigators who ruined the case. And they wanted Thug for some reason. Let's go through these because there's, first of all, I better go through this before let's see here. Yeah, Amateur Ironclast, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Fenatina, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Then we have that. The old dude who got shot with Nutt said he saw Woody driving. So I don't see definitely how the state can prove he's lying if he said he did it. Oh. Yeah. That's that testimony. Who was that? The barbershop owner? No? Or was... I don't remember. I don't really remember.
So I don't think it was an owner. I think it was just someone that was there that got shot.
So Woody was driving, or was Woody putting in work?
According to the state, neither. According to the state, he's not in the car at all.
Well, no, I know that, but I know Woody's alluded to that Woody's alluded to at least being there, hasn't he?
I don't think so. No, I think he's alluded to giving the car to Trevante Turner and then going home to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, he crashed the car, gave it over to Threat, and then he woke up the next morning, and Donovan Thomas was dead, and Nutt was the first suspect.
And he said it was all a blur. He described that gap from when he handed over the car to waking up. He got like, it was all a blur. And there's different moments that get heated on the stand, and also in one of the jail calls where he says, my head's hurting so bad right now. My head's hurting so bad right now. So that kind of just, I'm starting to get the impression, I take it this way. When he's saying, oh, it was all a blur. Well, how do you remember handing all of this off? It seems like something more traumatic happened than you're describing step by step here. And you're telling us it's a blip in your memory. You don't remember it.
Yeah.
Which is, to me, is questionable.
Yeah, but at this point in time, I don't think anybody can be convicted of Donovan Thomas murder. There's been too many charges brought and dropped, in my opinion. Momo, the defense attorneys did not disappoint on cross. Free this RICO. Hey, Nick and the panel, you are all awesome. Thank you so much. Tia Trena, another 5 memberships. Thank you. Ava Korakos, thank you. Does Governor Kemp have jurisdiction to mistrial the case with all the corruption, lies, and the amount of money that has been put into this case? No. This is all on the district attorney's office, who are a separate entity in the state of Georgia. And that is why they are now trying to put through legislation so that the district attorney's office can be held accountable for misuse of money and stuff like that. I've been covering some of these hearings. They should be somewhere in... I'm over 150 videos and streams about the Young Thug case. So it's somewhere. We are waiting on Sedi to talk about Mondo. Yeah, but Sedi left. And I was, darn it. I wanted to hear his rant on Mondo. Because he has words to say about Mondo. Miss H. Gold, me again. PC, were you able to help Miss Sylvia?
Yeah, he sent me the thing. He sent me.
Did you just get the ones I sent you?
Yeah, I just got the email.
Oh, nice. So yeah, let me know how those work, and we can tweak them more.
Okay.
Mocha, I pronounce things mochaisme. Thank you.
I say mocha is me.
Oh.
Like it's 3 words.
Oh, okay. Mocha is me. Okay. Thank you.
How did you get that one?
Because the hashtag says Mocha Milani. So it's got to be Mocha something, right? So Mocha,
Mocha is me. Okay. And it goes back to that. Gave the defense the opportunity to show empathy. Oh, yeah. The handing over part, complete. Yeah. Sharon Preston, thank you for your super sticker, or just not. Thank you. Then TRT, we already went through those. Mike White, why are the judges scared of the state? Fanny and Love show no respect for the judiciary. Never seen this before. I don't think it's about the judges being scared. I think it's culture. This has been going on for quite some time. And generally, judges protect judges. And holding a prosecutor accountable. The bar is so ridiculously high on holding, even for judges to hold a prosecutor accountable, it's so ridiculously high. And you almost never see it. Now, in Georgia, there's been 2 judges now that has been cheated. You had that partying woman who lost her seat as a judge.
A probate judge, yeah.
Yeah. Which, and that took 3 years. And she behaved badly on day 1. And that took 3 years. Mixed chick, Samantha, correct me if I'm wrong, but Steele said Thug isn't a convicted felon. Absolutely correct. He is not a felon. Sarah, thanks you guys for the entertainment. You all better be called for the documentary. Is there a documentary? Yeah.
Nick, real quick, I just wanted to say something. When people, like, a big thing with judges, a lot of judges, and this is what I was saying, I want to double check with Judge Whitaker. A lot of judges have spent time as a prosecutor in some quantifiable degree or another. So Judge Whitaker, she was the deputy district attorney for the Fulton County Prosecutor's Office. She was the senior assistant attorney general for the Georgia Attorney General's office. I mean, yes, she's probably done some private things on her own, but this is a very common thing. A lot of people will elect prosecutors as judges because when you're running for judge, you have defense attorney judge candidate and then the prosecutor who's a candidate. And what's the defense attorney going to say? I don't know if we should be putting people in prison. I'm going to be, very even-handed. And the prosecutor says, I'm going to send everyone to prison. All the bad men will go away. Guess who wins when people are voting for judge? They vote. They vote for the guy who's going to hand out plane tickets.
Yeah. So according to statistics from the Innocence Project, 1 in 20 convictions in a criminal case is a wrongful convictions. Is a wrongful conviction, which brings us down to anybody saying 95% or higher, or actively prosecuting innocent people. Then you also have to count in the people where the evidence shouldn't be enough to be brought to a jury, which brings us down to a number of between 80 and 85%. So anybody, in my personal opinion, that says over 80% convictions is unfit, because they both prosecute innocent people and they prosecute people where they know the evidence shouldn't be enough. Mixed chick again. Thank you. Wouldn't this set a precedent in the future if they take a plea deal when this hasn't been a fair trial? Legally, no. Precedents isn't set in superior courts, but
I understand what she's getting at, though, the idea that they were able to get away with it.
Yeah.
And Samantha, I mean, that is an issue, but remember, it's, okay, well, they find, remember what I said, like, they could stand there and say, I fought the good fight. Okay, cool. You get to your appeal. Here's what happens on appeal. The appeals court's going to sit there and they're going to look at it and they're going to go, is there a way we can say the prosecutor did okay without having to overturn this? And if they'll figure out a way, they'll say, oh, harmless error. They'll say, oh, something else wasn't right. Or they'll say, oh, you know what? No, we just disagree. Sorry. You're done. So your appeal is likely, your appeal is going to fail. Yeah. And, that turns into, you can be the martyr, but do you do you want to Jesus was a martyr too.
But with Steele's stats, 45%, 45%. I think that's a very, very good percentage.
I don't disagree. But that's where you have to be willing to
years.
Well, it's still going to take years, but even then, it's just more of, are you going to gamble your life on that? And that's math. That's as long as you could sit down and do the math on your own and come up with an answer. My hat's off to you, but I don't know if I'm brave enough to make that gamble.
And
I'm a scared little girl when it comes to this stuff, so I'd have pled out already. For
Mixed Chick became a new member. Welcome! Yay! And King Bama, him and Threat shot not by accident, not was standing beside Threat and got hit by accident. Rich homie paid Threat. Interesting theory. I wouldn't take it out of the realm of possibilities that Nut was a bystander in this case. It might be. And that is why this case, if they choose to, for some odd reason, to prosecute anybody again for Nut's murder, this is why it probably will never be legally solved, because there's simply no way to know. And TRT, thank you for addressing my concerns. No worries, you paid me for it. John, jealously guard your clients like that's a Nick Ricada reference. Sean, you want to take this?
I'm not. No, I don't guard Baldo. Sorry.
Jim Cox gifted 20 memberships. Thank you so much. My Natasha Roberg. My big problem with the state is the pending case that Woody thought still had on his head. I think that is very insane. Yeah, we addressed this earlier, but how could he know? I mean, I don't know if he knew or not. Mr. Melnick was his lawyer at the time. But I don't take it out of the realm of possibilities that nobody was told. And they still screwed up the prosecution because he still didn't testify like they wanted him to. That was the guy that detailed cars.
The one that said they saw Woody driving.
Yeah. But eyewitness testimony is eyewitness testimony. I mean, they are as reliable as tarot cards. And they did on the university, they did a test. During a lecture, one guy walked out, said a few words, walked out again. And 10 minutes later, they asked the students, tell me what that guy had were for clothes. Oh, the answers. He was wearing overalls. He was wearing any answers under the sun. Because eyewitness testimony is not reliable. Remember, eyewitness testimony says Bigfoot is real, which he is. If it's good enough for the courts, yeah. I mean, he paid Kel to kill Woody. If that is true, we don't know. We simply don't know. And Monica Chappelle, thank you so much. Sharon Preston, thank you. Givy.
The picture.
Oh, God. All right. Can you try to speculate why they want Thug so bad? He is, I don't know. Speculation. He's the big dog. Maybe not a gang leader, but everybody looks up to him in that community. And somehow that makes him a suspect. Kimbama, damn, I messed up. Rich homie, paid Kel to kill Threat, and Woody and Threat hit not by accident. It's hard typing on Super. Also, it's within the realm of possibility. How does panel think Montauk will testify? Oh, wow. Badly?
And I mean, I'm sure there's things that he's not going to want to talk about on the stand either. So
I don't know who that is. Sorry.
Who, Mondo?
Montauk.
No, Muntunk, Antonio.
Sledge is coming on. He's the next one.
Yeah, I think he'll be. I think the states even expressed that they're concerned about how forthcoming he'll be with his testimony. I mean, probably have to declare him a hostile witness.
I think it'll be like a second slug type situation. He's got a lot more on the line, though. They're hanging a lot of time over his head with that plea, and they haven't dropped a charge yet on him. Like they explicitly say in the plea, they have like a count 30 on him. They're like, oh, we haven't sentenced you to this yet. Once you testify to our satisfaction, we'll drop it. Otherwise, we're going to pursue it.
He's the one who said that he was paid to go down to Florida, too.
Yeah. His plea is by far the most damaging out of the 8 or 9 pleas. Yeah. I think after Woody and after Zachary, I think he's like the third most important witness for the state from what we know.
Zachary you don't have to worry about because he's not coming right now.
I mean, this trial is going to take long enough for him to recover like 8 times by now, I feel like. I don't know.
You say 8 times.
The state's going to force him in somehow.
Yeah, I mean, they forced in people who were victims of crimes to testify, who really didn't want. They ripped up so many old wounds. It is, I mean, what was her name? That woman who allegedly got her apartment shot up. They put her in jail to get her on the stand. Bennett, yeah. So they will do anything to anybody to get them on the stand. Raymond Rohrer, thank you. I believe the prime motive for the RICO cases is to get maximum funding out of the state. Only requires a grand jury to indict.
Yep.
Yeah,
In 2023, Fani was in front of the Senate trying to argue for Senate Bill 12 that would, well, she wanted to add a provision that would give more state funding for gang prosecutors. So the state would fund the expansion of this prosecutorial effort against gangs, RICO, in Fulton County.
Yeah, and she got federal funding, but that is under also, I believe that I think that is under investigation as well, because she claimed that she claimed for the state and for federal, I want this money to get rid of the things in the docket. And then once she got them, she didn't care. And her reason is that she doesn't have to, because the district attorney's office in Georgia is a separate entity. Once they get the money, they are free to use it as they please, which is also one of the reasons the Georgia Senate is now investigating new legislations to make that stop. But there isn't one in place right now. Arian the Vegetarian says, I took a plea on a complete fabrication because it came with being able to expunge it from my record after I did community service plus 1 year, no new charges. I used a college assignment to count for my service hours. Yeah. That's what
very
happens.
Efficient thinking. Like, you know, 2 birds, 1 stone. You know, all right, I gotta do this 1 year of community service. Let me tack it on as something I'm doing anyway.
Yeah. And they got a conviction. They got that into the statistics. And probably the person who actually committed that crime walked free. But many prosecutors don't care as long as they get convictions. Savi Amira, thank you so much. Katnot Williams, entire panel. Yay!
Heck yeah, I love the panel.
TRT, still here. Wow. Does Georgia allow recross after redirect? I don't think so.
That might be up to the judge if they allow it. But typically you only get 1 shot at cross.
Yeah. They want Birdman, not Thug. Thug won't talk. It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Birdman's too rich for
No,
jail.
but you know what? I have seen them do recross after recross.
I think that could be. Sylvia, do you think it's because the prosecution would say too much? Like they'd go beyond the scope? Is that maybe why in those other occasions?
Oh, I'm not too sure, but I've seen it done.
I mean, it'll happen. It'll happen a lot if the judges realize, like, we're drilling down on something and there's something there. There's times where the judge will let it go if they can tell, like, oh, this does sound like it's going to be very important or critical. I mean, I've had cases where it was like recross, and I think we were watching one where it was like direct, cross, recross, redirect.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like redirect and then a recross.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
I've seen it in Georgia too.
Natasha, does Lil Mike and Quest testify? Yeah. Somehow I don't think they will testify.
Just put an empty chair up there.
Yeah, but I heard that I saw that in another chat. I think it was yours, Kat, that somebody who called themselves Quest was actually arrested.
Yeah, I mean, it could be coincidentally named, but the joke in my head is that they used that as a lead from Moody and found someone named Jaquez and now indicted him on, like, it was something gang related too, in Augusta, Georgia, though. So yeah. I just was dying laughing, like, you know, prosecution may have really used that as a lead.
Yeah, free Quest. Oh, it took us an hour and a half to get. I was planning on playing a lot more. It took us an hour and a half just for the handover of Woody to the defense. Who is this person, Nick? That's Kat, that's Sean, that's Sylvia, that's Thuggerdaily. Kayla sent us over. Hey, hello, Kayla's. She's already done. Kayla, get back here. Get back.
Yeah, right. Where's Kayla?
Where's Kayla? Little Mikey and Big Quest. Yes. And here she is.
Oh, look at
Welcome back.
We summoned you successfully.
Oh,
We're all like,
sweet.
Kayla.
Yeah. We have to ask Kayla this question. Do you think Quest and Lil Mike will be testifying?
Oh my God. Please don't get out my drink. Now, I can't wait till all this is over and I can just really talk because that took me out.
Oh,
I actually went and checked the witness list to see if they put them there because I remember they had at least one dead person on that 700 person witness list. So the state, like, they did not. They were just putting anybody on that list.
Out of thin air, and it's just like out of thin air.
Yeah.
I mean, and also you asked a question earlier about what someone would do as a prosecutor, and that's always been, as a defense attorney or a prosecutor, my motto is, or what I thought was best practice is, you always put out there your bad facts. It would have been way more powerful for the state if they would have said that.
Yeah.
Now everybody's looking like, what?
Yeah, I see Steele always does that. He like shows parts of the interrogation that look bad for Thug, whatever. I'm so surprised the state did not get ahead of that.
Yeah, you have to get out in front of things or it looks like you're hiding stuff. And
yeah, just like those Fayette County jail calls where he's like, I lied on Thug. And I've been saying this whole time, like, don't get me wrong, Woody is smart. He is very, very smart, but he is not a lawyer and he is not preparing for litigation. And there is no way he would have known I can't even say that. I don't even know what to say, but I don't believe he would have known to say on a jail call. I think those were moments of truth.
Yeah. I saw that in my chat that they believe the 2021 jail calls was him planning for the future. And I mean, he is a smart guy. I mean, I met him in the hallway when I was there. Now we didn't discuss the case or anything, but I mean, he's alert. He's very charming, very charming. And as I said, I've been representing some interesting individuals, people with biker vests and stuff. I think I can tell the difference between players and the real things. And Woody has quite, and then we realized when he admitted to shooting up the barbershop. Yeah. If he needs to, he doesn't hesitate. Because he wants to survive. People wonder if there are flight, fight, or freeze. Woody knows what he is. He doesn't flee.
You know, I saw like I don't know if you guys have ever watched Peter Tragos, The Lawyer You Know, when he has Big George on, his father. And they're really great the way that they'll disagree with, they'll have a different point of view sometimes. And on this particular topic of Woody being like watching his back, running red lights because you don't stop at a red light, tinted windows are a must, not just for me, but for my family. Big George, dad, thinks that that's because of them the state leaking this video and putting him out there as being a snitch. Whereas Peter, Lawyer You Know, thinks it's because of the lifestyle, that it could possibly be an alternative explanation. It's the lifestyle he lives, and people in the streets are out looking for him, not because that video made them think he was a snitch, but because it was there already. So I was just wondering, you know, two different perspectives, like maybe what the chat thought when they heard those things. Do they think it's because of the state putting the target on their back, lifestyle putting the target on his back? Two different explanations.
I think that it's very interesting to hear what people have to say who don't live in Atlanta. I think it's an Atlanta thing. I don't stop at red light.
No, or Mechanicsville.
I drove in Atlanta. I can attest that people don't stop for red lights.
Well,
I noticed because I did, and then I drove at green light, and okay. Yeah.
The one thing I do want to say though, and I think Kale is right. You know, is this all some sort of long play by Woody? I mean, yeah, some people do try to set those things up, but I mean, most of the time when you're trying to just think about in your normal life, everybody, when you're trying to plan stuff out. I have a long-term goal. I have a 5-year plan. Well, how many things happen when you look back in the 5 years? You're like, oh God, I didn't plan on any of that happening. So he may be trying to set it up, and I'm sure, like, Woody's sharp guy. There's only so much you can control, and I'm sure he didn't plan on the stage trying to blow him up and burn him that way, like among many things, because the state never does that. But yeah, I Woody's a sharp guy. I just from watching him, I can tell that. And Kayla, you probably agree. He's a sharp dude.
I mean, I think that it's very interesting that these are jail calls that the jail calls. Like, when has the state not played jail calls? Like, I mean, because each prosecutor, once again, I'm going to put my bad facts out there. I'm going to play this jail call and I'm going to say, so were you lying here? You know, were you telling the truth? Because it could go to the point where he was telling the truth during this time period. These aren't lies. Look, he told the truth on this jail call. He told the truth. You know, it's just so many ways that they could have used that to their advantage. But it seems like they really only pick and choose. I don't know. They just play so many games. It's weird. It's to the point where I feel like if someone goes outside, if they have a picture of them going outside to pick a red flower, that's more evidence than actual evidence to them.
TRT, will the jury remember Short Croft 8 months from now? When he talks about it in closing arguments, yes, they will. I do believe they will, because Short will remind them.
Well, there was writing during that time. I saw them writing the most when I didn't see them writing before, but they were writing.
And TRT, damn TRT, you are more or less single-handedly sponsoring my return to Atlanta during closing arguments. When Shard asked about red lights, I thought Shard would introduce red light camera footage showing Woody driving the Infinity. Yeah, that would have been interesting, but that did not happen. Oh. And Kristen with a C. I was driving while listening to Kat's replay of Gaither's testimony. I was so mad I had to turn it off before I crashed. Thoughts from the... I have...
It's worse in retrospect.
Detective Gaither is, in my opinion, the most incompetent police officer I've ever heard of.
Is that Squirrel Brain or is that Thor?
No, Thor is Squirrel Brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I told Doug this, and my suggestion is that they will try to find NDAs, which regarding Gaither, because she was clearly getting the option from both Atlanta Police Department and from Cook County District Attorney's Office, where she worked as an investigator for a few months. I do this for a living. I do labor law. I negotiate these things. She got the option of either you quit or you're fired from both places. And because you don't quit 19 years into when 20 years gives you full pension. You don't take a job at the neighboring county's district attorney's office as an investigator and then leaves after 3 months. That just doesn't happen.
Well, she's a security for the basketball team games.
Yeah, and I have no idea if she's good at it, but in my professional opinion, she's horrible at her job. And
it's just all I think about her is this is all I can when I hear her name.
Now, we didn't get to see her because for some odd reason, they decided to keep her face out of it. Now, she's all over social media, so if anybody wants to find her, they can find her. I mean, so...
When are they going to bring her back and show her face now?
Oh, if they bring her back. Oh, you got my usual audience is probably wondering now, Nick, where are the words? Folks, there's more than me here. I generally tend to keep my curse words on a minimum at times, but I have to do one thing because there's a lot of you here. When Woody described or was asked about Rice Street, and it's the worst place in the world, and he was told, still water in the showers. Kat, what was the word?
Nut juice.
Nut juice. Yeah.
Why did you want me to say it?
Because you don't like it.
Imagine, that's disgusting.
Yeah, and my regular viewers knows that I tend to go to Suno.com, an AI songwriter, when I hear fun things. So here is.
Drip drop, water cold as a night clock. Slipping on the tile, ain't a friendly spot. Steamy like the sun up, but the vibe ain't hot. Speakers sitting high, say a prayer on the dot. Voices echo out like a haunted house. Shivers down the spine, can't escape the mouse. Eyes shifting fast like a powder warehouse. Back against the wall, that's the jailhouse joust. Nut juice dripping, man, it's slipping on the ground. Ain't no innocence here, everybody's down. Bars might close in, but we're still battling the sound. Showers turn to prisons and the lost and the found.
The image that went with it.
I'm so
the AI
sorry,
image.
Sylvia.
All right, with that, I gotta go. Thanks for having me.
Thuggerdaily said disavow, disavow.
Thank you for being here, Thuggy.
Thank you.
Bye, Thugger.
Thank you so much. See you. Bye-bye. Oh, the face Sylvia made. Yeah.
That is so
I have a country version.
Feces on the wall and nut
That's
juice.
so disgusting. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Now, that song is also in my shorts list on my channel. If you go right ahead. Stuno.com, if you're listening in, I wouldn't mind getting sponsored. Yeah, I'm having way too much fun with AI songwriter because I can't write I can write articles like nobody's business, but I can't write songs.
AI songwriter?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
The language learning models are getting new content to use. Someone's going to be like trying to write a blog about how to make almond milk, and they're going to pull from what you taught them with those song lyrics. And this person's going to be like,
He asked me, is there anything familiar with the ladies one? Y'all, it smelled like fish in there.
Thank you.
I'm
Wait,
sorry.
In the courtroom?
No, to ask me about the jail, the women jail. Remember, I experienced jail, remember?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Every time I leave Rice Street, I gotta take a shower. So I can't even, like, when I get home, the first thing I do is shower. It just feels so nasty.
What about Love and Hilton fighting? Yeah, in that part when Love grabbed Hilton's arm.
Nick, play it.
Oh,
Kayla.
It's so funny.
Kayla, you're terrible.
The other day too, they were zoomed in on Woody and Law, and I think was it Law and Crime that was controlling the camera? They like panned out to show them fighting. They were zoomed in. And they said, "Oh wait, hold on."
He did it on purpose. He's like, Sylvia, did you see what I just did? I was like, what'd you do? Put it on them.
I was watching live and I couldn't stop laughing. I played it like 4 times. I'm about to laugh. So it's so funny to me because like, it made me feel like when I used to be at church and I was falling asleep or not sitting still. And your mom,
get up, girl.
All right, here it is.
And she always got her butt in the camera, bro. Y'all don't get tired of seeing that?
I didn't like it the first time.
All right, we'll take however long it takes.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Minutes. Thanks.
All right, we'll take however long it takes the jury to get back, 10-ish minutes.
And then you have
Hand at the side, like.
yeah, and grabbing her arm twice in that situation, folks. I do labor law. This is hostile work environment 101.
You gotta play the part. Well, you don't have it, but at the end, she puts her finger right in her face too. Like, it's so sad.
I don't know if I have it.
Why do you think the other guy's gone? He got tired of them.
I don't know where the other where
Helensky, he quit.
he quit.
Yeah, Helensky quit.
Wow. Yeah, I can't imagine why being in between two angry women fighting each other all the time. Because the last few months, he has been more like the dividing wall between them. Yeah, yeah.
You talking about what's his name? Atkins. Atkins is the in between guy, but Helensky was the tall guy with the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone.
Did y'all talk about when he said when Woody said she
On her knees?
Yeah.
No, we haven't talked about how Miss Love begged him basically on her knees. Yeah, I can't see that happening for some reason, but I can picture it. That I will not make a song about that situation. I promise I will not make a song. But if anybody else want to, it's suno.com, suno.com.
Oh.
How Miss Hilton gets on her knees in front of Woody.
Oh.
Yeah.
They say I will.
Yeah. Jazz, does all have to take plea together or just can some? And if so, how does that work for the jury? Yeah, I mean, depending on... Yeah, I mean, they're all free to take any plea deals if they want to. And how they will explain it to the jury, I have no idea. Kayla,
well, like I was saying before I left briefly, I think that the only way this will work, the plea situation, is if everybody takes a plea. I don't think that one person should take a plea here, one person. No, I think everybody will have to do it, and nobody should have to testify against one another. They should just all have their own personal, situation.
Yeah.
But the thing she said at the end of the day when the cameras was off, she said to them, while you guys have some time off, I would encourage, this is an exact word, I would encourage for the two sides to come together to find a resolution in this case.
Yeah, and when a judge says that for the third time since she took the... Yeah, time to listen. But then again, we have Miss Love as the main prosecutor.
So what do you think about that, Kayla?
About what you just said?
Yeah, what the judge said.
Well, someone had already told me that, and that's been my position for a while. I think that I don't know what it means, because I feel like she says a lot of stuff and it means nothing.
But she's basically telling, I would encourage the two sides.
Yeah, I mean, she also told them they got one more time, 100 more times.
That's true. That's true.
So I don't know. I just don't know.
Okay. TRT, was there things on the jail shirt that Charles wanted to introduce? No, that was just a demonstrative of a jailhouse shirt he wanted to introduce as demonstrative. The Japanese Yakuza, $50 in 500 Swedish krona. Oinik, read my message on Twitter if you want a conversation. Yeah, I've seen your message. Once I get through this stream, because I will be joining Jeff on his stream later. So I will respond to you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Japanese Yakuza. Sylvia, how did the people in court react when they heard nut juice?
Everybody laughed. The guy in the back was like, "Oh my God." He had his hand on his head. He said, "Oh." But they were all laughing. Even the judge laughed. Everybody laughed. It was like a shocker for everyone. I was like, ew. I didn't laugh. I was like, ew. Nut juice. Ew.
Mixed chick Samantha, we need you. This was 4 minutes ago.
Maybe a conversation I was having. I don't
Rod Factor, thank you. DLO will lose if you try running for Fulton County DA again after this. She's running now. She is the Democratic. She won her primary, and she is.
Oh, you saying the wrong name. That's Love. He said the wrong.
Oh, Love.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Love. Yeah. Oh, no, she won't win. First of all, I don't think she is running. This time,
so she never ran in Fulton County. She ran in her hometown. She ran for DA and judge.
Dublin. In Dublin.
Yeah, her hometown.
Thank God she didn't win. Jesus Christ, her as a judge.
I'm a two-time disappointment to myself. I gave to that campaign and I gave to Finding. I'm a two-time disappointment.
I can imagine a lot of people are quite disappointed in their representatives in Fulton County. Was Woody?
Go ahead.
Yes.
I was so close to Adrian in the DA's office. I tell people all the time, I guess people just change. And I think her running and losing motivated her in this case. That's all I can think of, because when I tell you, like, you know how you have like your favorite teacher and you just go sit in their class when you don't want to go to another class in middle school. Every day when I got out of court, I would run to Adrian's office and we would sit and we would just talk. And I looked up to her so much. So for so long, I just did not believe what people were saying until it happened to me.
Yeah.
Well, she personally, she's pretty nice. It's just when she gets up there in that thing, she's kind of different.
Yeah, when I was there on the 14th, she tried to joke with the security. They don't like her. I think the judge tolerates her, but I mean, no, she's not. Well, TRT, was Woody originally indicted for nuts murder? He was charged back in the day. The charges was dropped. If so, is that indictment in evidence? Yes, it is. It came up in cross-examination. I remember Steele asked Woody about being charged for nuts murder. Yeah, there you have it. So it's in evidence. But the charges was dropped. And it was dropped by the recommendation of a witness that is close in time, Mr. Sprinkle. I don't understand how the prosecution can call Mr. Sprinkle to the stand, because he can testify how he recommended to drop charges in all of these. I mean, I don't get it. I covered the pre-trial hearing, the Daubert hearing, with Mr. Sprinkle on the stand. He's not a good witness for the state at all. I don't understand why they even try to call him, but they have to, because he sits on evidence. So yeah, that would be
in the DA's office now. They're talking about Mike Sprinkle, the current.
Yeah,
I love him so much. I hope I'm not again going to get myself in trouble, but he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, from the Daubert hearing, and I said it at the time, this is a good person. He doesn't want to prosecute bad cases. And yeah, but the Daubert hearings in themselves, I haven't said this in a long time, but the pinch and zoom guy, they try to the prosecution in the Daubert hearing wanted the pinch and zoom guy in as a forensic video analyst. And when it came to cross-examination, the Hispanic guy with the ponytail did the cross-examination, and after a few minutes, what
Surrey?
this Pinch's Zoom guy did.
Is his
I
name
don't
Surrey?
remember.
That's what you're talking about, Surrey?
I don't remember his name.
Who
This is a
represents the
long
guy
time.
Doing all of that?
Yeah.
Okay, Surrey.
Yeah. And after a while, they came to the conclusion that this Pinch and Zoom guy, what he did was he received video from the police or from the prosecution with a timestamp where he stopped. Then he took a screenshot, put that screenshot in Photoshop, and pinch and zoom on the enhancement they wanted. That's all he did. And they wanted him in as a forensic video analyst. Now, Josh Glanville did allow him in as a video enhancement expert. My 5-year-old niece can do that. That's not expertise. And that poor guy from the jail, they wanted in as an extra gang expert. I think it also was that Hispanic guy who said you were the second best gang expert in the jail out of 2 people. Oh, and here is some good news. We have somebody who has never been on my channel before.
Ooh.
Let's everybody give a big welcome to Tabiz TV.
What up, though? What up, though? How's everybody
Hi,
doing?
Jay.
Hey, Don.
Hi.
How y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Thank you, Kat, for the for linking me up with Nick. I appreciate it. Thank you for allowing me to grace your platform, Nick. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Very much welcome. Very much welcome.
Thank you.
For anybody who is new to you, who are you and what do you do?
Tabiz TV. My government name is Asante. I would leave the rest to the imagination of others. But I've been covering YSL since the conception of it. I've been covering a lot of different other trials. Yeah, absolutely. From the shadows at first. Then I decided a couple months ago to go ahead and just finally get my channel popping. And so it's been good. It's been fun. And so I cover a lot of different trials. I cover prosecutorial misconduct. I talk about, different things. So yeah, that's me.
What? Most welcome. Most welcome. What? We still haven't gone past. Well, we are talking about everything in this cross-examination and how the prosecution handed Woody over. What is your immediate opinion about the cross-examination?
I think it was masterful. I think it was very classy, especially Doug Weinstein. He actually asked about his Woody's health, like how he felt, things of that nature, which could have been possibly a tactic as well. Lawyers are lawyers, you know what I'm saying? So it definitely could have been a nice move, a chess move. But I think the cross-examination was definitely masterful. Last night I did a rewatch on my channel because I didn't see it the day of. And so Kat was in the building. Shout out to you, Kat.
You had me, I had tears down my face when you were talking about like 3 different parts. The little Mike and Quez.
I had tears. I couldn't.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Williams. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's it. I'm shocked. I'm like, as soon as he get off the stand, I call him like, hey bro, what's up with you?
Look, the little Mike and Quez was hilarious. I think last night on my channel we spent about maybe 45 minutes really laughing about that. And let me tell you something. When I spotted those bugles on that witness stand, I said, you know what? This is an issue. I had to pause. I said, wait a minute, are those bugles? And then Kat put herself on X eating a big bag of bugles, and it looked like the same bag. I was like, okay, we are definitely in movie film territory at this point. And so it was just hilarious. But my initial reaction to the defense is that they did an excellent job, I think, of really exposing and kind of like shifting the trial a little bit. It went from trying to get Woody to say that YSL is a gang and Thug is the leader of the gang to Woody is a liar. The jury haven't heard a lot of the things that Woody have said in the past with certain jail calls. And the fact that Woody was honest about him lying, he was honest about the fact that I made things up. And they showed ironically, they showed the honesty of his lies. Like,
I call him an honest liar. He's an honest liar.
Exactly. They showed the genius of that cross in that manner. And then to cap it off with the fact that Doug utilized a spiritual connotation to say that, Woody is now changed. He's changed now. And so basically what he said to the jury is, don't judge him by what he used to be. Judge him right now, because they have to deliberate on who he is right now as a quote unquote credible or not credible witness. So I think the defense was a genius on that point. And I want to shout out to Miss Sylvia. I think Miss Sylvia is excellent. She works nonstop, and people have been trying to mess with her a little bit. I'm from the shadows. I'm like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man. We from the shadows, man. And I want to commend you, Miss Sylvia, for your courage and for your tenacity as well. And everybody on the panel as well. Miss Bumpus, they try to put you in the jam, and she like standing on business. You know what I'm saying? And so I actually did something. There was an interview that you did, and you were wearing red and you was in like a Lamborghini or something like that. And it showcased your personality of who you are outside of court. And so I just wanted to highlight that you have a very beautiful personality, along with Kat. Kat is always supportive, awesome, always sharing great content. Nick Starro is the leader of this platform. I've seen a couple of times where Nick, showcases his input. I believe he has some very knowledgeable things to say as well. Not too familiar with potentially criminals, so I apologize. But I think you guys are awesome, and very inspirational as well. So thank you for allowing me on here. But that's my point of view right now. So I'll be quiet.
Yeah,
be quiet.
And I'm glad that you pointed out infamous Miss Sylvia's. Her work has so much value, and she got demonetized by YouTube.
Right.
Nick, don't remind me. Nick, don't remind me, please. You're gonna bring a so hard spot in my heart.
They didn't fix it. They can't fix it.
No, I can't come back until the 14th of November.
Yeah. So what I did was I put Sylvia's Cash App on the top of the chat, and I want you guys to stop super chatting me and go show your appreciation for Miss Sylvia.
Yeah, it's okay.
Right.
No, it's not. I mean, you put in so much work. Folks, make Sylvia's phone go crazy. Okay?
Absolutely.
I mean, you have been so generous to me this evening. I'm beyond grateful. And so, folks, if you have anything to spare, shoot Sylvia.
I did email Miss Baker, Emily, and the situation that she has is totally different from mine. She was talking about that case that she's streaming, and I'm not doing the case.
Yeah, that was Idaho, Ohio, whatever state it was in, and that state has this rule that you can't rebroadcast of some sort. So the channel, the news channel who has the right to pull that, did all the strikes against everybody who restreamed that trial. So Broken Baker, 7 days ban, and a lot of other people's as well. So yeah, and for me, that YouTube, come on. Different states have different rules, and the rules for that state only applies for that state. And you cannot own copyright on public information. I mean,
You know, the sad thing is they don't tell you what exactly video that's affected what's going on. So, and I'm still lost because I have over 3,000 videos. So I'm like, which one is the problem?
yeah,
And they didn't tell me what is the problem.
they never do. They never do.
So they never give you a specification?
No.
Just a reuse of content, which is stupid. We reuse our own content all the time.
Exactly.
We stream the trials and then we take snippets and put out as videos because it makes us $10 more. And many people don't like 8-hour streams. They just want the highlights. So we do that for them. And 2-hour words. Go show, Nick. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Black Law Student, good show. Black Law Student also he starts. He also had a channel, didn't he?
He's on Twitter. I know Black Law on
Spaces.
Twitter.
Why did the state lawyer quit? I would assume that it was workplace reasons.
I saw him a lot of time. He was very displeased. He was frustrated a couple of times because I remember during the holidays when we were trying to get the list of the witnesses, and I think they harassed. I'm not gonna say harassed, but they were being hard on him, and I think he just got tired of it. That's why I think it's my opinion. I don't know for the fact I didn't get any information, but the following week I heard he was gone.
Yeah. I don't know his reasons, but I don't blame him. If I were in between those two persons, I would have issues too.
I've seen a whole bunch of them leave since I've been doing this case.
Yeah, I mean,
Rosenbaum, what's her name? Kayla, you remember her name?
Linda, the prosecutor?
Yeah,
Linda R. I always say Linda R. because I don't know.
Okay, that she
Rosietti? Was it Rosietti or something like that?
No, Faye last name is Rosenbaum.
That's the one. Rosenbaum. And then you had Gary. You remember Gary? He left. He went to Gwinnett County. Don Gary. He was the one that was the head, and then they moved him and put Love there. He went straight to Gwinnett County.
Lily Tiller, can the court get in trouble for knowing what Woody lawyer yet was going to let him testify with no attorney? They should have told him. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened, but the day Mr. Melnick got his, he started his 6-month, he is not allowed to practice law for 6 months. And he left that morning, and Woody testified all morning up until lunch, and then directly after lunch he said, I heard my lawyer is gone missing.
I don't think he was even there. Miss Sylvia, was he there? He never showed up that day. Melnick. He never showed up the day he was suspended.
No, he never showed up.
He never showed up.
So the whole day he didn't have an attorney.
Yeah. I think Miss Sylvia was the first one to tell him. Then I called and he said, Miss Sylvia just told me.
And I was like, you better not go there, and you better tell them. You better tell them you don't have an attorney.
Yeah, and the whole thing is
they knew it. They wasn't going to say anything to him.
Yeah, and for me that is insanity to have a guy testify with immunity deals and always on the brink of pleading the fifth, to not have his lawyer present. And she, Judge Whitaker knew because she already contacted the public defender's office.
So she knew. She knew.
Yeah. Yeah. Can the court get in trouble for it? No. That's the short answer.
It came out at 8:15. So by the time the court started, they already knew, and they let him get on that stand.
Yep.
They knew because they did it.
Yeah.
It's like the case was dismissed and they never told him. What Max said, I brought good news for you.
Yeah, the case dismissed.
He did say that.
I got good news for you. Here's the document stating that your case is dismissed temporarily. Okay.
Yeah, so the courts really, I mean, Woody has done some interesting things in his past, but he has paid his dues. and now the courts, 2-hour word him in court. Japanese yakuza, sorry Nick, I am drunk as a skunk, please ignore. Hey, and we will talk via DM. We will talk via DM. But thank you so much. Infamous Sylvia, how did the jury react when they heard that 2 people were made up? Mike and Quest.
I laughed. The jury, let me see, I'm trying to remember. Because there was so many comical times in the whole trial. But I know that they were more alert during the time of the defense. And I was telling you guys, Twister was writing. And you guys know Twister don't write. You know who's Twister, right, Kayla?
Mm-mm.
The one that sits closer to the window?
Mm-hmm.
That's Twister.
Okay.
She was writing. She was writing for the first time. I've never seen that woman write.
Yeah, that is quite telling.
Even somebody in the chat, that's a great point since we're kind of talking about Melnick. The jail calls also proved that they knew. Kat texted me.
I was screaming in my head because I was on stream, but I was like,
but yeah, they knew
February
that
2023.
Mm-hmm. That was my birthday.
Yeah.
That was our birthday.
That was our birthday.
Yeah, I mean, the prosecution has known a lot of things all along, which they actually has a candor to the court to present, which they try to hide, and they are still allowed to prosecute.
Didn't they have like a folder that said "Do not serve" or something?
They wrote that. Yeah.
Like,
I know. They knew he had a lawyer. Everybody knew that Melnick represented Woody. Like I said at the beginning when Woody first came on my live, we talk about like everybody wants to know about us, and I'm like, me and Woody were actually beefing. Like we had real beef. From 2019 when he went to jail, I got him a bond. He went to jail again, I got him a bond, and he says it's 2 times. I say it's 3 times, but either way, I couldn't get him a bond again. And so when he gets out of jail, he calls me like being Woody and I'm being Kayla, like, come on. And so then I call Melnick and I'm like, hey, Melnick, get your client. I knew from that day, that was in 2019. So when all this started, Melnick told me like, I represent a witness in the YSL case. I say, who, Woody? He said, yeah. Everybody knew that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
I think it's different when he's in the court all the time.
Real. The Keith Sweat
how does the
Bacon
court
story.
pretend not to know if he's in the court all the time?
And Slow, you all make my workday so much better. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Your own street. Nice, Nick. Thank you. Miss H. Gold, YouTube thought you were using LNC content. LNC doesn't strike anymore. They did that 4 or 5 years ago, but they don't care anymore.
But they don't own it. That is WSB TV stuff. Let's just get it right. That's their camera. It's WSB TV, not LC. Okay. Let's get it right.
Yeah, and that is why, for instance, when you see me live stream, I have, because their camera is pulled, so I have either this up or this up or this up, this, just to make sure that my things are up there, because that is somehow enough to make the change needed for doing it fair use. And then I talk a lot and I pause a lot, and sometimes I pause so much my streams are 2 or 3 hours longer than the trial stream. And but yeah.
And the thing is, my disadvantage is because I'm in the courtroom and I can't do like everybody else, and that's why my problem. So I have to try to figure out ways to put all the stuff like you got all over the place. So, and the weirdest thing, I've been doing this for almost 2 years and never had a problem.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, boom.
And it's infuriating. It's so infuriating. Now, let's see if we can play the actual handover, how Mr. Steele handled Woody. 2 hours and 15 minutes in. Oh, hold on. And dunk.
Do you have any more questions? No. Okay.
Judge, can I go home?
All right. No, it may be that some of the defense attorneys or all of them might have questions for you as well. So we're not quite finished yet. So take a minute.
And here comes Mr. Steele.
Come on, Rich. I'm ready to get it over with.
All right. Who's got questions for Mr. Copeland?
With the big folder.
I love the folder.
Go ahead.
Okay. I want to talk with you about verification or corroboration of statements made to law enforcement by you that we listen to on recordings, okay? And by verification, I mean something that, besides your word, it supports what you say, okay? Do you understand what I'm asking you?
This is, in my opinion, an excellent start. Because remember, Miss Hilton told Woody, but the cops verified all you said, which was completely false. First of all, she can't say that. And second of all, it wasn't true. That was stricken from the record, but...
We didn't ask you anything yet. Do you understand what he's saying?
I don't understand. Now you understand.
Maybe just ask him a question.
So the district attorney Hilton started to talk with you about what she said, verification of what you said to the police. So I want to talk to you about verification or lack thereof, okay? If you don't understand anything, just tell me you don't understand. The first one that Ms. Hilton said is that Jeffrey rented a Infinity vehicle. Remember that? Yes or no?
I don't recall.
Remember, she put up for you State's Exhibit number 334Y. It said Hertz on it. You were talking about some of the words on the exhibit behind you. Do you remember that?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you remember getting beaten in Club Crucial in the early morning hours of Tuesday, January 6th of 2015?
I didn't get beat.
Do you remember having your lip cut open, a knot on the top of your head?
No, I didn't have it. I just had a knot on my face.
And your eye swollen? You remember that? Do you remember that? Yes or no?
I don't recall.
If that's on the early morning hours of January 6th of 2015, do you remember going to Jeffrey Williams?
I don't
Next
remember
day?
nothing from 2015.
Well, let me finish my question. Do you remember going to Jeffrey Williams the next day and explaining that you got beaten at Club Crucial and you needed a car because you didn't want to drive around in the car that you typically drive around because you didn't want to be noticed in the area? Do you remember telling that?
I don't recall.
Do you remember saying to...
All right, hang on a second. When there's an objection on the floor, let me hear the objection and make a ruling on it, all right? Before you ask the next question. Assuming he's moved on, so we're not going to worry about that one. Go ahead.
Do you remember saying to Jeffrey Williams that you needed a car and he was driving, he had a Corvette vehicle, a rental car from Hertz? Do you remember that?
I don't recall.
Do you remember realizing that a Corvette has 2 seats and you have a child with a car seat as well as your child's mother, Deshawn, at that time, and you needed a bigger car? I'm asking questions to see whether he remembers this conversation.
Okay, sustained that is not a fact and evidence at this point. You
The
can
question, ask him if it's happened.
So you may ask that question.
That's my question. Do you remember that? Do you remember saying that to Jeffrey?
Saying what?
That you couldn't use a Corvette. He had a rental Corvette. You needed a bigger car because a Corvette's a 2-seater.
I don't remember that.
Do you remember Jeffrey saying, sure?
Objection, Your Honor. That's assuming based on evidence and self-quotation.
Sustained.
Do you remember going to Hertz Rental Car at approximately 8 o'clock at night on January 7th of 2015 so that Jeffrey could get you a rental car, an Infinity rental car?
Objection, assuming based on
He can ask whether he remembers that or not.
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling this jury on direct examination weeks ago that rental car, that Infinity, was in your care?
I said it.
Yeah. Do you remember saying that?
No.
Do you remember driving that Infinity rental car from the time it was picked up from the Hertz rental car on January 7, 2015 until it was returned on January 12, 2015? Do you remember driving that Hertz rental car that we're talking about from the time it was picked up on January 7, 2015 and having control of it until it was returned on January 12, 2015?
I don't remember 2015.
Do you remember driving with Mr. Zachary? Little D. Do you remember driving with Mr. Zachary and striking cones on the side of the road on the highway and damaging the Infinity rental car? Do you remember doing that?
I don't recall.
Do you remember giving that Infinity rental car to other people on the night of January 10th, 2015?
I can't remember 2015.
Let me ask you this way. Do you deny having that Infinity rental car January 7th of 2015?
What you mean?
Did you have that car in and around your person?
I gave the car to Threat.
Okay. You told the jury that you gave that car to your friend, and Threat is Mr. Turner. You know his last name? True? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, here is when Steele is trying to wind him in, because now you see Woody is starting to answer. And this is a verbal technique where you supply the answer with correct. Yes, in order to get at least some kind of answer. Because sometimes you're with a witness or with somebody who really, really doesn't want to talk. And from this point on, I believe that Woody started warming up quite good. Sean, you are a defense attorney. Is this how you would try to handle Woody?
I mean, yeah, at some point, because you got to try to warm him up, and he's slowly. I mean, because you start off, he's sitting in front of the jury, says, "I don't want to be here. I want to go home." And yeah, you've got to be very careful and just ease your way in. There's, this is going to be a very slow process, and eventually he's starting to answer questions. He's starting to answer questions, and he's making a little bit of headway. So yeah, it's like a big fish. You got to reel him in a little bit, just a little bit, very slowly.
Now the handover was interesting, and I mean he didn't really warm up because this was the end of that day. But
yes.
Then he got home, get 30 minutes of sleep or something, and the next day was actually quite different. Let me just get to it.
Offensive aggravated assault.
Oh. Let's see here. Hold on. Come on, law and C-word. There you go. Dun, dun, dun. Here we are, the next day.
District Attorney Hilton tell you you could testify to anything you want or something to that effect, and you would not be locked up. Just tell the jury. Just think about it.
I don't know what you just said.
I'm sorry. But there's a bad part. That's me. Thank you for telling me that I was inartful, is my word. Okay. Other than those two issues you just told. I'm going to get locked up if I invoke the Fifth Amendment. I'm going to get locked up if I testify that I'm involved in Donovan Thomas's murder. Other than those two. So if you don't say those two things, then your use immunity kicks in and you would not be locked up for anything else you testified to. Is that how you understood it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you ever ask District Attorney Hilton, why can't I testify if I'm sworn to tell the truth about being involved in Donovan Thomas's murder? Do you ask her, why did she exclude that?
What you mean?
Did you ever ask any question to District Attorney Hilton? Let me ask you a different way. Did you
There wasn't no question. We was talking.
Okay.
And we were going back and forth.
And that's what she said.
Objection.
That's fine. That's fine. Your Honor.
Sustained.
All right, let me ask you some questions. I'm going back to your interviews or interrogations or meetings, whatever the right word is, between you and law enforcement, whether federal, gang, homicide. Okay, I'm going back to those that we saw the recordings for January 11th, 2015 with Detective Thorpe. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When we say it's just for the
Yes.
court. Okay, thank you. The jury saw the meeting or interrogation, whatever, the conversation on January 28th of 2015. Do you remember that?
Yes.
The jurors saw the meeting or conversation on February 20th, 2015. Do you remember that?
I remember all the interrogation that they showed me.
Okay. And then the last one would be February 21, the next day, 2015. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And I misspoke when I said the last one. The last one's really June 10th, 2015. You remember that one?
Yes.
Okay. I'm referring to those, and I'll make it clear which one I'm talking about. But I would like to talk to you about what you said in those different statements. And then if it was a lie, and then whether the police, the district attorney's office, the federal authorities ever came to you to say that we can or cannot, the word corroborate, but that means we verified what you said, okay? We didn't verify. That's what I'm going to ask you. A whole series, okay?
All right.
If I'm losing you, Mr. Copeland, it's me. All right. Let's start with, and this is going to be, Your Honor, Jeffrey Williams or JW 240A. It's an Elisa, and it states exhibit number 378YE, already in evidence. It's June 10, 2015. Interrogation, and Your Honor, the times are 10:36:34 a.m. through 10:36:42 a.m. And Mr. Copeland, do you have you might need those. What I'm going to ask you is these are a series of conversations with the with the police, different police officers, detectives.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go over what you said, and then I want to talk to you about that, okay? The first one that I just announced is the detective asked you, what started it off? Was it really about a windshield? And you answered, no, nothing thug, it's something personal against each other. I want you to hear that, make sure that's what it said, okay?
What started it off? Was it really about a windshield? Nothing thug, it's some personal against each other.
Okay, what I said, is that accurate or fairly accurate?
That's what I heard.
Okay. And what you're saying there, you're being interviewed, if you can tell, that's Detective Dennis, and you heard Detective Gaither's voice. Is that fair?
Yeah.
And you recognize this as June 10th, 2015 meeting. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, at that point, you also said, and this is at JW 240B, Your Honor, is in Barry, states exhibit.
Yeah. As we can see and hear, and if you follow this, all of a sudden, Woody regains memory, which is, yeah, and with Mr. Shard, Mr. Shard is a faith healer because not only Woody got all of his memories back, he also learned how to read, and his hearing improved. So I do believe Mr. Shard is a faith healer. So next time I'm visiting Atlanta, I will ask Mr. Shard to put his hands on my knees. And, yeah. But the demeanor of Woody after that break through the next day, I mean, it's a completely different person. And whatever tactics the prosecution had with handing over distraught and quite angry Woody. Didn't work, did it? Because
He might have woken up feeling like a different person. He said depends on how I wake up.
Right. Right.
So I like the way Mr. Steele, we don't need to play all of it. We need to play 8 seconds here, 20 seconds here, 15 seconds here. Did they verify that what you were saying was truthful? And they never did. Never. So
it took Steele a while to get to that point, though. I mean, to be fair, like Steele was a little bit long-winded with his questions. I think he was a little bit overly concerned about making sure Woody understood what he was asking. I'm talking about this particular day. But the last day of cross, you can tell that he altered his approach to Woody on the last day of cross. He was much more condensed with his questions, very different to what he did the day before. So I think that was very smart and intelligent on his part to ensure that he kept the attention of Woody. And then he's did some things that kind of shell shocked him, I say a little bit, to make him say, okay, yes, I'm listening. Yes. And then Sharp just nailed it right after that. So that's kind of like my take a little bit.
In between, we had the few questions of the other attorneys, and then Mr. Shard came on. And how Mr. Shard started so softly, gaining trust, Woody was more or less opening himself up. And then that final hour, because Woody, I saw it on him. He knew where Shard was going a good half hour before the prosecution realized.
Yeah.
Because the absolute lack of proper objections. But when they realized it was too late, it was beautiful to see. And also speaks to the competency of the prosecution. And
he did a lot of stitching. Like you could tell he would talk about something a little bit and then go to another topic. And then he would come back to that other topic right when your brain was no longer engaged in it. Like to me, it was I know he's a basketball fan, and I just felt like in his mind, he planned this out to match like a good coaching play from first quarter all the way through fourth quarter of an important game.
Yeah.
Sharp was doing his half-court sets. I'm sorry, Nick.
No, go on.
Yeah, he was doing his half-court sets. He was being a point guard, out there, and he was doing it within the 5-minute crunch time, time frame, because he knew he asserted his questions in a way that was declarative. We learned that last night in the chat. Declarative questions, right? Like I'm asking you as if I know this to be fact. And I know if you deny it, it's a lie. If you deny it, he was asking in that way, and he did butter up, Woody, and then he gave him the John Joe's elbow to the eye, MMA style. You know what I'm saying, at the end. So that was a great tactic, I think.
Yeah. And at times when he gave shade to the prosecution, now if I were to use basketball terms, he did do a bit of Larry Bird on occasions.
For sure.
But all of a sudden he just laid it up. And it was so planned out. Because I've seen him go up and stutter a bit, but this cross-examination, flawless. He got exactly where he wanted up until Woody, now I'm not talking anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give you guys some insider stuff.
Awesome.
After you said awesome. After he finished the first half, right before the break, he came out in the hallway. I'm talking about Chard. He was pasting. You can see his adrenaline was just rushing, and I remember Steele out there talking to him about pacing himself, because he saw himself losing the jurors in the beginning because he was losing them because they started going back and laying down and doing a little closing their eyes thing. And so if you notice, there's a big shift when he came back. You noticed that, right? And so, but he was pacing like back and forth, and all of them were standing around just because. And Weinstein said he's getting to that point. He's gonna get there. He's gonna get there. And everybody was like, "Okay, what is he doing? What is he doing? He's gonna upset him. Why is he making him go?" He's like, "He's gonna get there. He's doing something." So that's what Weinstein was saying to the people in the hallway. So, but he was pacing. It was kind of like very interesting how it was being handled.
Yeah.
Tony reminds me of basketball. And guys, if you want to show Max some praise on X, if you guys go and compare him to make some NBA comparison, I'm sure that would be the most well appreciated compliment. I'll get his Twitter link.
Now I got another one from Japanese Yakuza. Time to go to bed. I will talk to you through DM tomorrow. Thank you. TRT, still here. I just realized if defense never struck Hilton's improper question about police verifying everything, Shard could have said Hilton lied when he proved Woody made up fake people. Well, he kind of got there anyway, because they weren't paying attention. So, yeah. But that was they kind of had to make that objection. Because, first of all, it's not her job to provide that information, because she is the prosecutor. She
No, but the
cannot
jury's going to
state
see it that way.
Exactly. So it's candor to the court from the defense. They have to object to it. Nick be sliding into DM. I'm always DMing people. I mean, my DMs are open for better or for worse. And sometimes I have a lot of people who somehow I have a lot of interesting women who live near me, apparently, and I'm not interested still. I do believe the larger my Twitter account gets, the more interested women are in my DMs. Isn't that weird?
Sliding in your DMs, Nick? Sliding in your DMs, man.
Oh.
Nick got swag.
Yeah, he got the swag, man. He Nick at night is what we're about to call him right now. He Nick at night right now, boy. Let's go, Nick. I ain't mad at you, man. I ain't mad at you.
They said it's the beard, Nick. It's
Somebody
the beard.
said it's the beard. Man. Otto said it's the beard, man.
Yeah, it's the
There you
beard.
go. It's the beard, man.
Also,
it's the whole package.
Yeah, and
the entire
he got the height.
Okay.
Licenses. He did the herb license.
Whoa.
He got the height too, Tay. He got the height.
He got the height too. Oh my God.
He's tall.
Yeah. Wait, wasn't Nick in the courtroom?
Yes.
Yep.
Did he have a cane? Did he have a cane? Was he walking with a cane?
Yes.
Yeah, that was me.
Too?
He had the cane. Yes, he did.
Pimp cane with the hair. Doing all this right here with the beard. Come on, man. They can't resist you. They cannot resist you, man.
The whole package.
The whole package. Let's go. I ain't mad at you.
I'm taken, and we are very happy together. And yeah.
Oh, he's making it clear.
Yeah, I'm making it clear. Yeah,
he's setting the record straight. Okay.
Yeah, Miss Viking and me are very good together. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh. And apparently I was even on stream. At least me walking out, and whoever that person who sat beside me, who was pre-law, she walked out and she was like 5 foot -2, and then I walk out at 6'4". I mean, it was interesting to see. Now, okay, that chat went wild. I'm not a pimp. I have to use a cane because I have arthritis in my knees. I have to. Now, I did order a new cane, by the way, because yeah, it is
Next
a
level.
self-defense cane because I mean I have to return to Atlanta, and so it's a 5-pound solid oak cane. So yeah, I don't think it will help though. If anybody takes a stab at me, I mean I can't run.
You need a cane sword, Nick.
I'm not allowed to have those. Those are illegal.
Just listen. One of the things you're not allowed to do, man, it's just about being quiet about it.
Oh, shh.
Welcome. You got to think like an American.
Oh yeah. I mean, I look like an American apparently because nobody took me as a tourist when I was in the United States, and
you blended real well.
Yes,
I blended in real well. Yeah, I mean, Sweden, our gun laws are ridiculous, and so yeah, if first license, then the testings and the oral testings and the shoot testings, and then I have to repeat the shooting testing. Then if I want additional, I can, with one license, I can get a handgun and a rifle. If I want additional weapons, I need a new license. Yeah, and when I store it, I can't self-defense store it because the weapon, the pin, and the ammunition must all be kept separate. So if anybody breaks in, it's going to be, can you wait a few minutes while I assemble the...
So there's none of this.
Yeah. So yeah, I would... if this channel blows up to, I mean, the levels, I'm going to the United States. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I like the United States. I like.
Well,
we
like having you here, Nick.
Thank you. I had much fun.
Which state did you like the best?
Oh,
definitely not Georgia.
I didn't stay enough time in. I only stayed in Atlanta, and Atlanta is not the entirety of Georgia. And I mean, the place that is most recognizable for me is because it resembles where I grew up, and that would be
Michigan?
Around around Knoxville.
Oh, Knoxville. Okay.
Because the hills, the mountains, the creeks, the roads resemble me of where I grew up.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's just say where I grew up, my year in our high school, we had around 60 people and 5 last names. So that reminded me of Louisiana. No, not Louisiana. Where's Knoxville?
Tennessee.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's a very interesting choice.
Yeah, I mean, nature reminds me and everything, and yeah. But I mean, I've been to Texas twice now in Houston, and I love the people.
Okay.
But the humidity kills me. The heat and humidity. No, I just can't. I mean, I like it warm, but not that warm.
Right.
I went there. 93 degrees feels like 110 with humidity, and
absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
So
isn't it a fact that in Texas everyone needs to have, I think it's mandatory or almost law, I think, that every like apartment unit or house need to have some type of air conditioning unit installed in there because of the heat being so dramatic.
Yeah, I would imagine so, and I'm very happy that the hotel room had AC.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that thing was a lifesaver. I mean, even at sundown, normally when I open up to go outside over here, it's cooler. In Texas, no. Just no. Yeah. Because I drove from Houston up to Detroit. And so Houston, New Orleans, Montgomery, Atlanta, Chattanooga, Blue Ridge, Knoxville, Indianapolis, and then up to Detroit. So
That's where I'm from, Detroit.
Hey, nice.
Yes, sir.
I liked it in Detroit as well, but my friend Dave lives there, so he took me out, and I met Police Commissioner Willie and folks and stuff. And that town did not, because I have the image of Detroit as it were 15, 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that town anymore. It's not.
No,
that
not
town
at
anymore.
all. Completely different.
Yes.
People are
It's
walking their dogs at 3 o'clock in the morning without bulletproof vests. So we're good there.
Yeah, depends where in, because they took me through downtown, which is amazingly clean. I mean, I've never seen such a clean town. I mean, seriously. Then we went to Mexican town, which is also great, and then we went to a neighboring area to Mexican town, which was not so. It was interesting, but for another reason.
Oh, for sure.
How the
Cold
different.
town.
Yeah, I mean, so we went drove through some interesting areas.
That's good. That's good.
And I had my first floaty, and I could do that again. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Did not have any southern food. I did. I mean, I have to agree with that I didn't really have any southern food. I didn't stay in New Orleans long enough to have real Cajun. I did eat. I went to the tourist traps in New Orleans. I mean, Bourbon Street, but nah, a bit too much touristy for me. So I didn't have the time to visit the. I mean, I spent from August 7th to August 24th, and I barely scratched the surface. Barely. But I did visit the Sasquatch Museum in Blue Ridge, Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Bigfoot Museum. That was interesting. Yeah. Okay, we are almost 3 hours in, folks. Melanie's way. Where's Nick from? I'm Swedish. And I get to shoot pew pew in Detroit. So that was fun.
Okay.
I haven't shot a firearm since Army, and that is 30-something years ago. So that was fun. And can't wait to do it again. Let's just say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but folks, we are almost 3 hours in. Again, amazing panel, amazing discussions, and as per usual, we don't get to play much of the trial because we have such great debates and discussions and everything. So Kayla had to leave, so thank you, Kayla. Thank you to Thuggerdaily for showing up. I mean, always good. Sedi Nash also was here earlier. Amazing person, in my opinion. I've seen in the chat, folks, we can all have differences of opinions.
Yes.
Kat is
that's
always
what makes it great.
Yeah. And Sean, thank you. Sylvia, thank you. Tabis, I hope you can return. Every Friday, 6 p.m. Friday panel show, folks. And I hope
Nick, I
Tabis
just
can
want to
return.
tell you, if you don't get a response from me, I'm just going to come late.
Yeah, okay. I will send you the invites.
Because you know, I do Jeff thing, and so if I don't show, if I don't say anything, I'm still coming. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
And Kat Not Williams, I mean, always here. She has access to my StreamYard, so she doesn't even need an invite. But I will send you all invites to next Friday. There's no trial on Monday. So next is
holiday.
Tuesday.
It's a
holiday. It's Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
And on Monday, I go back to work.
Oh.
My vacation is done,
wow.
Which means that I start around 6 a.m. in the morning and I work until 3 p.m., which means my streams will start a bit late, 4:30 p.m. my time, which is 10:30 a.m.
That's perfect because I have something else to do earlier now, so I'm good.
And let's see. So I didn't miss anything. I don't think so. Thank you, chat. Amazing as per usual. Thank you for the support of this channel. You are what makes this come true.
And I want to thank everyone for the Cash App. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, remember, it's pinned in the top of the chat if you want to say send something to say bye for Friday. I will send you all over if I can. I don't know anymore because YouTube's redirect has been acting weird the last couple of weeks.
Yes, it has.
So I don't know if it will work, and I will send you all over to Legal Vices, who is having his monthly grifting stream where alcohol will be consumed.
Yes, and he's back on after being in jail, YouTube jail. So.
Yeah, and Jeff just got back from his 7-day ban because YouTube banned him for 7 days for
what?
Yeah,
they said he was doing a questionnaire.
What is wrong with YouTube?
Well, it's
Yeah, and they couldn't. It was an illegal questionnaire with some very bad words in it, and he couldn't have done it. And when they say, "Okay, but show it to me," and they say, "We can't. It was deleted." But how do you know it happened?
Legal law said he's still banned.
Legal law is still, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was for different reasons. Dave and another that YouTuber did some copyright strikes. Then he had to make a new channel. And according to YouTube, because Dave is doing what we do, stream trials, commentary. But YouTube says, no, this is not what we want for our platform.
Wow.
Yeah. But thank you, Casper, redirecting to Legal Vices and Jeff. So I will try to send you all over there. But I will be sending you all over with a song.
Not the nut one. Not the nut. Not
that one. This is the country version of Nut Tunes.
Shadows creep, stains on tiles, secrets keep, broken souls, dreams bereft, in the showers.